I kind of just did that. Here we go. We're getting there.
Who picked that picture of Matt Rhule? It looks like he's taking a dump.
It's awesome,
Tony.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He's probably lying about doing that.
Oh,
I think we're about to be live. Y'all best watch your language. Watch your language. Here we go.
I stand by my words.
Me too.
All right.
Why is the sound not working?
CK's amped, man. He hasn't stopped moving since he got on the screen.
Well, I'm standing up. So I'm a swear.
I got you.
I'm a
I
swear.
got you. Okay.
For real. What's up?
I
Here
did.
we
By
go.
the way, I am.
Yay! Oh my goodness gracious. CK, hit him up with the intro.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable appetite for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Perfect.
Perfect. What's up? My name's Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. You can follow me on Twitter at cat_chronicles. And for you homies in the chat room, what we really need more than anything is for you to just tell us that the audio is perfecto. And once it is perfecto,
Thumbs up.
man, they're going to thumbs it up. And then I'm going to introduce my boy, my man, Cody Lashney, man of the people. Well, you're not
Tony
man of the
Dunn.
people. You're like the coolest dude I know, actually.
Dude, listen, right now I'm the man of the people because I'm looking at all the incredible people we have in our chat room who know the same thing that we do, that Panthers football is upon us. The NFL season is here now. We do not have much longer before we get to see the Panthers play football. And as always, our chat room is lit with, might I mention, some heavyweights of our chat room, man. Underground West, Josh Hoyd, Trill One, Sarah Taylor, Andy Smith, Ben S., Joe Riolano's in the chat room. Matt knows nothing. Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Dude, way to bring it. We're going into our 8th season, guys. And we have been here each and every week through every technical difficulty possible, right? Through everything you can imagine. And in that process has been the Panthers rebuilding, right? And we don't know where we're at in that process. We're going to be talking about that tonight. And as we look at this 53-man roster, as we look into the season opener against Las Vegas, it's hard to say for me, the Las Vegas. I always want to say the LA Raiders. Right, but we've got opening week. We have a team we don't know. We have a roster we need to get to learn. And we're going to do it with you guys. The number's 252-228-5098. You can leave a message on the Cat Calls line. And, Cody, you're not alone because you're bringing all the smoke with CK and Stat Daddy. Pass the mic, homie.
CK, let them know what it is, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, living the dream. We've got just a few more days. We got less than a week, and we'll be able to see what this team's actually made of, and whether or not Greg's Stat Daddy's frustration with the organization and the head coaching staff or the head coach is warranted or not.
I'm ready to talk about these Raiders because I think there's a lot of people that are, underrating them when they actually look like they're a pretty good team.
Yeah. Greg's in the house, the stat daddy, the man of many podcasts. I started watching the first episode of The Boys. I will be there when I need to be. Don't worry, I will have it all finished. But I know you are busy with your nerd adventures, your life adventures, but you always make time for the Panthers.
I am busy with all of those, but this definitely on Tuesday nights takes precedence over anything. Panthers football is upon us, like you said. I got a funny story. I got a guy at work, huge Panthers fan, and him and I were talking Panthers football the other day, and I threw out a scenario that I'm going to throw out to y'all, see what y'all react to. And he actually kind of got mad at me and almost yelled at me for a second, then apologized to me afterwards. I said, how crazy is it going to be when Cam Newton in New England faces Tom Brady in Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl?
That is
how many senses of iron? Like that's crazy thinking about that. But he got kind of mad at me for saying that. Then he was like, okay, I'm sorry, my emotions got the best of me. Football season's coming up. So what do y'all think about that?
Oh, that's what I'm hoping that Cam Newton gets to deny Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the ability to be the first team to win the Super Bowl in their hometown, in their home city, because the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay this year. So, hey, I'm loving it. Dude, I'm loving it if, Cam Newton might be able to get him one. I was telling this to Tony before the show. This is the weirdest season for me. I've never been in this kind of place going into a football season, feeling how I do. There's so much different emotions. And I do know we have a wonderful guest tonight that we're going to be talking about some Panther football with and everything going on with the football team. Tony, you want to introduce our illustrious guest for tonight's show?
It is time. So, guys, you can call into the show. The number's 252-228-5098, and we're going to be talking not only about the Panthers in this coverage, but also the whole context of this new Panthers team. And what we have tonight is a special guest from SI.com, Jason Hewitt, who has been covering the Panthers team closely. And over the last couple of weeks that I've just started to follow your work, Jason, and to be honest, not only has there been a changeover when it comes to the Panthers team, personnel, ownership, but there's starting to be a real changeover, too, in the ownership of the media. And I'm very happy to say I'm glad to be that you're with us as a beat writer. We need this. We've been following your work. Welcome to the C3 Panthers Podcast. Jason Hewitt with SI.com.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jason Hewitt. I cover the Panthers, just like he said, for SI. Actually, fun fact, before I worked for SI, I covered the Panthers to SB Nation on the Cat Scratch Reader. I don't know if y'all follow them or anything.
Yes, dude. We understand all of that, bro. Yeah. We're on the grounds. We keep our ears to the ground.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I was happy to be on here with y'all.
So, look, is what we've tried to market ourselves entirely as, not market, that's the wrong word. What we are is that the whole time every Tuesday night we've just gotten together and we've talked about what's going on with the Panthers from the fan perspective. And right now what we have is an unprecedented time, with this COVID crap. We don't want to talk COVID, not because it's political or anything that I'm just tired of talking COVID. But ultimately, we know the world is different at this moment. It's been a bizarre offseason. I don't even know how to get excited about this team. Not excited about the team itself, but like the season, like the off. It's been very hard. There has been, the media coverage has been somewhat opaque. Right, we have not had the unfettered access with fans taking pictures from training camp and this and that. We really don't know much about this team, outside of the few Zoom calls they've given us. So what are your just immediate thoughts on training camp and what you've gotten to see? and maybe a little bit about the roster. I don't know. I don't even know how to tackle a question at this time when it comes to the Panthers, right? I mean, it's a bizarre world.
I understand. So this screams rebuilding, honestly, because Matt Rhule came in, he brought all his guys in as well. That defense is looking a lot different than it has in the past few years, especially with Luke Kuechly being gone. And so I feel like they're passing the keys over to Shaq Thompson. And personally, I think he's going to have a great season, but it's really the secondary that's the biggest concern, in my opinion. D-line looks pretty solid. I think Brian Burns has a really good chance of balling out this year. Derrick Brown's a monster. He's been a monster since I've watched his film a few years ago. And those are really the highlights. Teddy B, he's going to be that consistent game manager. McCaffrey's going to be McCaffrey. Curtis Samuel has this potential to break out. Still, a lot of people have been, skeptical of him.
Tony Dunn. We have one of those right here on. I'm the biggest Curtis Samuel defender, and me and Tony Dunn go back and forth all the time.
I was on the Curtis Samuel train in year one, and then you all keep trying to tell me. Look, I don't want to hear about no
injury.
How about
this? I want to bring up real quick. My bet with Cody is on now. We have a bet with Curtis Samuel. Jadeveon Clowney got signed by the Tennessee Titans yesterday or today, which means that if Jadeveon Clowney gets more sacks than Curtis Samuel has touchdowns, I win.
Nice.
Just saying, I made that bet a long time ago.
I'm with Greg on this bet. I'm on Greg with this bet.
All right, let's go.
The more I think about it, now that he's on that Titans defense, I'm like, I don't know that Curtis Samuel has.
That $5 is mine, baby.
Yeah, I think Jadeveon Clowney has an opportunity to get into double digits this year with this sack. So I don't think that Curtis Samuel has that option with him being wide receiver number 3.
All right, so guys, we walked out of right now. It's September 8th. Generally, we are going into week 1, but in past seasons, we would have, some preseason games. We would have a lot more information about this team. What are you guys thinking about this team right now? And Jason, ultimately, I know you've hit some of the highlights, is that these are the things we want to happen. We want Shaq Thompson to be good. Not be good. I mean, I'm not saying he has been bad, but we want him to be
He wants to take that next step.
Right.
Elevate.
A centerpiece of our defense. We want this defensive line with this young talent. But what do we really know about this team going in? I don't think we know very much.
It really depends, what position group specifically.
All right, you pick it. I'm passing the mic real quick because my wife just came in too.
Yeah, so listen, I know that we're going to have a lot of young players on our defense. The last I've heard, and correct me if you have a better number, is that we're going to have 4 rookie starters on our defense going forward. And last year, stopping the run was such a problem for Carolina. We ranked 29th in the NFL being able to stop the run. It was such a problem that they literally drafted Derrick Brown specifically for that problem. How much weight do you think is going to be on the shoulders of our first-round draft pick, having to essentially come in and revamp the defense in a year when you have a bunch of young players around you and you're trying to better one of the worst run-stopping defenses in the NFL? You're trying to make it better.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be a lot of weight on Derrick Brown's shoulders. But good news is that Kawan Short's coming back. And so that's a former Pro Bowler right there who's going to eat up some blockers for Derrick Brown to make plays. And
I think that's the best thing for him right now. Like the fact
it really is.
I'd be more worried about this defensive line if Kawan Short wasn't there. We lost Kawan Short early in the season last year. You guys remember that?
Part of the reason why we're so bad. And
you guys got to think about what did he really bring? And our defensive line was garbage outside of we could get to the quarterback. We had the pass rushers to do that, but we did not have the ability to stop the run.
Well, Jason, let me ask you this specifically. Do you think that it's going that we're going to be able to stop the run against the Raiders? Or do you think that this defense is going to kind of be a slow burn, implementing a new defensive coordinator, a new head coach, a bunch of young players? What should Panther fans reasonably expect this Sunday when they play the Vegas Raiders?
So I'm looking at the Raiders offensive line, right? And I see two names immediately. You got Trent Brown at right tackle, and you got Richie Incognito at left guard.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty nice players. I'm not even going to hold you. And,
For sure.
And then you have Josh Jacobs, who is still
A stud.
developing, and he's a stud already. And I think they're
1,100 yards last year, yeah.
Exactly. I think they're going to pound the rock this Sunday. That's just me. They're going to test out Henry Ruggs on the secondary as well, see what's up with him. And I really think that could be a really scary challenge. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I'm really worried about our defense coming into this game, guys. Like, just think about it. We have an untested defensive line. Our secondary is basically non-existent because we still have no idea what to expect from the new guys and what they're going to be playing our draft picks at. There's a possibility that Corn Elder is starting. Just think about that, guys. They still haven't named an official starter at the cornerback too, at least last I read.
Well, and actually, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they named Troy Pride, didn't they?
Pride is starting.
Yeah, Troy Pride Jr. is going to be cornerback number 2 after. And dude, what a blow! That's something that we haven't really even talked about. The Eli Apple is going to be starting on IR. I mean, this is a guy that they brought in because they let go of James Bradbury, and that was a veteran that you're not going to have anymore. And, I mean, that's a major blow to our team. I'm going to ask another question to Jason, and then I'll pass the mic over. But Jason, to the offensive side, you mentioned Teddy Bridgewater being a distributor of the football. He's, he's accurate. We know what he's known for. Do you think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to do that behind our offensive line? Are they going to grant him enough protection to be able to get the football out to Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore on the edges?
Okay, so that is a very good question, actually. It's really the tackles I trust enough. I mean, Moton, he had his struggles at times, but he's still developing. Interior, Paradis had a lot of problems last year, but he was proven to be a quality center in the years prior to that. And you got John Miller, who's had a lot of experience. He wasn't great, but he was okay with the Bengals. And I mean, we really just have to see because we haven't really seen any development in their practices or training camps or reason or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of just hard to know.
Yeah, it's very hard to know. Yeah, because you haven't seen any of them actually in live action games working together as a team. It's way more difficult than practices or scrimmages or anything like that. It's not like a real game. So, I have 2 questions for you, Jason. Real quick, we had a caller come a few weeks ago talk about the possibility of Carolina with a 4-2-5 defense. What are your thoughts on that? Like, as far as how strong we are at linebacker, how strong we are at safety, and strong we are at the defensive line. Do you think a 4-2-5 works for us?
Ooh. Personally,
so when we think about that, right, is that we're trying to start 4 straight up linemen, right? So think like we would have Derek Brown, we'd have KK. Say we're gonna put out Brian Burns and
Totos. Yeah.
Gosh, that's ridiculous.
That's lethal. That's a lethal.
No, it's not lethal. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible because they're all children except for KK, right? I mean, they are.
Brian Burns has a potential to be defensive player of the year. He played more than 12.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. But like these other, like at the same time, they're generally you don't look at any of those guys. All right, Brian Burns, you wouldn't say immediately 4-down player. I'm not saying he can't be, he isn't. But, like, you want him to be. But has he been? We haven't seen it yet. But it's really the other side. Like, are we truly thinking that Gross Matos is going to be a dominant, right? Then you throw out this. Then you need, what? You said 4-2.
4-2-5.
So what?
So you need 2 solid linebackers.
It would be Thompson and Whitehead, right? and then the rest would all be defensive backs. So that defensive line on its own is good, but not like fucking dominant.
But a good defensive line makes linebackers and cornerback and safeties better.
So then we got what? Jackson, Pride, Burris,
Warren Elder,
Boston, and Chint. Thank you. That's it. That's the lineup. That sounds cool if we're making a Madden team. I don't know if that's gonna be cool on Sundays.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if it'll work or not. It just sounds good.
It will work in 3 years.
Yeah,
but okay,
maybe.
I mean, the worry I have is right out of the game. We haven't even let Jason answer this question yet.
That's all good. I'm enjoying y'all. That's all good.
Well, because we're breaking the question down. We haven't even posed it yet. We're breaking the question down.
So here's the reason I say I'm really worried about this defense. Right? Let's realize that number one, every one of our draft picks made the 53-man roster. When's the last time that's happened for the Panthers? It's been forever.
Actually, they didn't sign.
Kenny Robinson. Right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
He didn't make the 53-man.
Kenny Robinson.
Gotcha. But nonetheless, that being said, if you look at the starters, we have a lot of young talent, right? There's a lot of potential, certainly, but there's nobody who is proven beyond college. The problem I have is if you look at these Raiders, like the Raiders, they have Josh Jacobs, who is yes, he's still developing, but he showed he was a great running back last year.
Yeah.
You have one of the better tight ends in Waller. You have a receiving core that has a lot of potential. And you have Derek Carr, who's known that even last year he had 100 rating as a quarterback. Not the greatest. He had one really good season, and he has the potential to still do that behind an offensive line that's actually able to protect him.
Yeah. Well, even in a bad season, Carr had 4,000 yards last year. I mean, so yardage is not a problem. He can chuck the ball. Even in a bad season.
They had what is it? The 4th ranked offense in the NFL last year from yardage perspective, but they were like 26th in the NFL in actual points per game. So that's where they were not able to convert those.
Yeah, they had a 4,000-yard quarterback, almost 1,200-yard running back, and almost 1,200-yard receiver on their team. So, and that was the tight end with their league receiver, Darren Waller.
By the way, Waller had almost 1,200 yards last year as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was the receiver that had almost 1,200. That's crazy. So, I mean, they're legit. But I'm sorry. We took the question away.
Hey, it's all good. Like I said,
we don't even. What is the? Oh, it was the 4-2-5.
4-2-5.
Yeah. It's been in my mind for weeks. Yeah.
So I look at it with the perspective. I played offensive line in college, right? And so I'm thinking of a 4-man as meaning that the linebackers aren't really great because you're depending on the D line to make plays for them, right?
Which is kind of what we have, right? Linebackers are not phenomenal what we have right now. So
that is very true. But how it's looking, and based on what Matt Rhule has been saying, what Phil Snow has been saying, the defensive coordinator, it's looking like they're going to be running a lot of 3-man. So maybe like a 3-4, 3-2-5 potentially. I think they're going to use Jeremy Chin as like a maybe Minka Fitzpatrick type player where they're just going to throw him around everywhere. They're going to throw him at back or some plays. They're going to have him play safety. I call it a star, which means that, you're a linebacker / safety hybrid. Will it work? We'll see. It seems like they're putting a lot of faith in Chin to make plays.
A ton. That's what all right. To build
he's a baby,
off of this a little bit.
Yeah.
And all right. So I got a lot to say about that, and I'm excited about these guys. I'm not unexcited about them. You know what I'm saying? Like so. All right. So when it comes to the 4-3, what you were talking about is, I think you're right. Is that like typically or historically, it does seem like a 3-4, right? In some ways, but Brian Burns in our ends are just kind of stand-up ends. So I think that while you can list them as outside linebackers and this and that, right, is that they're really we're really running a 4-man front. They're just standing up. That's the way I see it. And I don't know. I didn't play football. I just look at it, So I don't know the X's and O's. But really is there a giant difference because if you're not asking them to drop back in coverage, are they anything other than a defensive end? My kind of one thing, but I agree is we're putting so much faith in the chin right now, right? A ton is that they're saying this guy is we don't have corners. We don't have corners. We don't have tight ends. We don't have anything. But they're saying this all of a sudden this guy that we drafted as a safety is going to be an outside linebacker and do it all.
But
is it a little too much? Is there a little? I don't really know. What are your just thoughts on the staff coming in? Not the staff overall, but like with this chin thing. Just speak on that. And the coaching.
Well, I'm curious. Before I answer that, so you don't have a lot of faith in Dante Jackson, do you?
No. I do.
I do.
I think he's a good enough player.
Well,
I do.
I think he's a good enough player.
Let me say this. I feel like a lot of fans feel like this. We know that he is uber talented.
Yep.
I mean, the speed,
fast as fuck,
the fluidity of his ability to
four picks in the first 3 games.
He can jump, but we feel like Dante Jackson has this kind of undisciplined attitude about him, and he just kind of will let himself get away from himself and make stupid mistakes on either not being in the right place or the right time.
I don't even feel that way. You know, I mean, I understand your sentiment on that.
That's how I feel.
For me, is that like, yeah, that's just kind of a young, swaggerish player who was chastised in many ways by the coaching staff for being like that. Like, it's kind of a Josh Norman-esque in the Buffalo game. But for me, the only concern I have with Dante Jackson is not about him making those mistakes. Is that ultimately he's 5 foot, he's like 4'8", and like it doesn't matter how ball hawk you are. Like he's a ball, like he can run fast as shit. He can do, but you got 2 of those guys now. You got 2 short ass fast motherfuckers that are ball hawks with Troy Pride in them. So for me, it's not even about his discipline and being this and that. Is I don't know if you can build a secondary around a midget.
So I have a question, I think, for Jason.
That Jason, I want to hear how.
Yeah, because I want to comment on that too. But go ahead.
Him being called,
I know a midget's a little hard, but you know what I'm saying. Like he's an itty bitty. He's an itty bitty.
I mean,
Steve Smith. Just saying.
I don't. Steve Smith.
But he ain't no corner. He ain't got to defend Julio. He's got to jump over Julio. How is Dante Jackson going to be? Honestly, think about this. It don't matter how fast he is, how great he is, how this and that. You're trying to tell me that Dante Jackson are we really going to be okay with him against Julio?
No one's okay against Julio.
Right. I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, pick someone else. Mike Evans. Pick anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, any fast, tall receiver like a AJ Green is that no matter how phenomenal homie plays, it doesn't matter. He could be the best. Isn't he limited by his physical, like his height?
In a way, yeah, but that's why coaches scheme too. And I feel like with Chin coming in, I feel like Phil Snow is going to do a lot of zone, similarly to how like Richard Sherman was and over in San Fran and how he did in Seattle is going to be a lot of cover 3. That's my prediction, and I feel like
we don't have the personnel for that though. We don't have we have 2 miniature corners, man.
You trust them in man?
No. Good point.
Well,
all right.
I mean, what else can they do?
Right. Well, you're right about that, about the actual scheme. But how does okay? Yep, keep going. That's a good point.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to read your mind if that makes sense.
No, I just wonder is that even with zone or man, does it matter if you're zone or man if the guy is 6 inches shorter than you? Like, I almost feel like this is that if you run Calvin Ridley, or how about this, pick any team, and they've got 2 receivers that are over 6 foot, why can they just not throw it quickly on the outs? and they're gonna win every time. They're gonna win physically. That's what I would just think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because like if you have the scheme to like have like an extra safety somewhere where maybe that out route is supposed to go, maybe have Chin come in and just make a play, get a pick six, something crazy after
Very
Dante maybe gets burned.
All right. Let's flip the script. How about this?
Okay.
Is there any, if you were an offensive coordinator and I only gave you receivers that were under 6'1", are there any limitations to that?
It'd be really hard on the goal line for sure.
All right. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to press up on dudes? Is Dante? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that's won in those first 3 yards.
Can I just say something, though? I know that as Panthers fans for the last, for me, 26 years going on now, we've talked about a lot of different players. And I know that, especially on this podcast, we talked about a love for Josh Norman. When Josh Norman was good with the Panthers in his 5th year with us, how great he was, the one good year he had. Let me compare Josh Norman's stats and Dante Jackson's stats real quick. In the first 2 years, Josh Norman had 101 tackles. Dante Jackson had 106. There were 60, let's see, what's 33 and 70 solo. Dante Jackson at 87. Norman had 1 sack as well as Dante Jackson has 1 sack. And Jackson has 7 interceptions in his first 2 years where Norman had 1.
How many starts?
In his first 2 years? Starts all 16 games. Well, 12 and 16 for Josh Norman the first 2 years and 13 and 16. So 1 more game for Dante Jackson. And Dante Jackson already has better numbers than Josh Norman had. Yet we praise Josh Norman like he was the best end-all, be-all. And he's only – I got to look at the height. I guarantee he's not much bigger than Dante Jackson is.
I'm interested to see the passer rating comparison.
Meaning what?
So if you see what cornerbacks, the ratings for like PFF, it's passer rating against them. When the ball's coming their direction, what is the passer rating? Because I'm telling you, I've seen Dante Jackson get burned way too many times. Calvin Ridley's done it too many times.
Josh Norman was garbage the first 4 years he played for us. He has had 1 good year as a Panther when we were 15-1. And we
look at Dante
like he was the best.
We got to move on. The chat room is mad pissed that I called him a midget.
Oh, no.
Not mad pissed, but they're like, he's 5'11" and 3/4.
Because that's average height, and most guys are like, "Hey, I'm average height. I'm not."
That's what I say. That's what I say too. But I'm not in the fucking NFL.
But nonetheless, if you go look at Dante Jackson's interceptions, a lot of them the ball were just thrown right into his chest.
But that's not his fault. He's still caught the ball.
Not.
I mean, exactly.
But I think being in the right spot didn't happen. Like
so it was
impressive. That
so made. All right. So it was scheme.
Same thing with Josh Norman. If you're a cornerback in position,
so does that mean we gotta praise? What was his name? Whatever, Washington. That got stripped of his duties 2 years ago.
Eric Washington.
Yeah, it was his scheme. His scheming that made
Dante.
I think this is I have no problem with Dante as a corner. I just wonder if, for me, it's not about him as a player. It's about building around him as a
key.
I can think number one.
I'm just saying he's number one. Josh Norman, if not better.
I disagree.
Right. I would love to have him as a number 2.
I'm just saying the stats don't disagree.
We've seen a decrease in performance. We continue to see an increase in performance from Josh Norman.
What? Josh Norman? We'll talk about that later.
We gotta ask.
But CK, did you have a question for Jason?
No, man. I think we've touched a lot of the stuff.
I have something with Jason that
and we got to get to the Cam Newton story.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. So, Jason, you wrote an article on SportsIllustrated.com analyzing David Tepper's reasoning on Cam Newton's release. And you have to understand, man, for a lot of Panther fans, going into this season without Cam Newton, it's weird to us, man. Like I was telling Tony before the show, like it doesn't feel the same, man. Cam Newton has that infectious energy that you just love. And a lot of us feel like David Tepper specifically kind of gave up on him. But you you wrote in your article, and I felt that you worded this beautifully. You said the bottom line is that Tepper was never able to experience what it was like to have a consistently healthy Cam Newton around. The Panthers constantly had to deal with Newton's injuries since Tepper became the owner. And you add Matt Rhule into the equation, it becomes even clearer that David Tepper wanted his own chess piece to run the organization. And, you kind of said what I've been saying for a while now, that, David Tepper bought a $2.5 billion football team, and a Cam Newton injury tanked the season for 2 years in a row. That being said, do you feel who did you feel had more of the final say so? Because that's something that we've been discussing a lot. Was it David Tepper? Was it Matt Rhule? How much of a decision did Marty Hurney have to play into this? What did you feel? Who all went into making that decision, and who made the final move, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I believe David Tepper.
I'm with you, bro. I think we learned a lot this week.
It makes too much sense. Matt Rhule, I feel like Matt Rhule is just working with the pieces that are provided to him. I believe that the draft was mostly Matt Rhule, sure. And free agency is also him. But with Cam, when you think about Joe Brady's offense and how dynamic that is, if you're thinking of a healthy Cam Newton, why wouldn't you want a healthy Cam Newton running back?
Amen. Effing man. This is what we've been saying. And this is where we lost it with this. We were very excited about the coaching staff coming in. Right? You're like this, is that we've been split over Ron Rivera. We've defended. We've attacked. We defended. We're like what is it? When you fight with the swords with the little sword.
Jousting?
Not jousting. Fencing. Yes.
Yeah.
We've been fencing. We've been fencing over Ron Rivera for years. It's do we want more aggressive? Do we want more defense? Back and forth. And then all of a sudden, it's finally here. We're just on to something new, something young, something exciting, something motivating, all this thing. And then you pair it and you're like, oh, this shit's going to be so good with Cam. And then there's no Cam. And then it just took us aback. And for me, or at least it did for me, is that all the enthusiasm I had was sucked away. And yes, am I bitter? Am I a Cam lover? Yes. Am I going to do, I admit it. I'm going to fight. And I'm going to tell you how accurate he is. I'm going to tell you all these things. I'm going to fight with all y'all. But what really irritated me in the past week, and I think what you kind of really zeroed in on your article, is that when you hear David Tepper, I don't understand this one thing, is he comes out and basically says this, and tell me if I'm wrong in the way I'm summing up the Zoom call, as he said, with COVID, we didn't really know what was going on with Cam's health, and we're trying to move on. Not move on, but we're trying to do what we got to do. And there was kind of a risk with Cam. My question is this, is if you're the 41st most valuable person in the world or America, like David Tepper, most rich person, you can't, why was the communication so bad between Cam's camp and David Tepper or whatever? Why were they so scared about this injury? Not why was it, but did you get that same feeling? Oh my God, they were paralyzed by Cam's history of injury, which is not a history, and that foot injury is overcomable, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but that's a Liz Frank injury. Liz Frank injuries hurt a lot.
It's this big. The bone is big. This big. It is that big. And he's fine now. Now it's one bone. Now it's one bone. Now, it used to be little bones. Now it's one. Look at how about this? You seen those pictures of him dancing around?
Yeah.
You think the foot hurts?
Hey, he's a
what would you
player.
have done?
All
right,
right
you wrote the article. You wrote the article. You saw it. I feel like you saw it, man. Is they were paralyzed by the injury history.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about all those hits he took behind a really lackluster offensive line, I mean, yeah, he's Superman, but sometimes Superman gets kryptonite, you know? Like, I just feel like
we gotta get
all those
Teddy
hits.
Big D. Teddy's leg almost fell off, though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It sure did. It's honestly at this point, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like Cam's not coming back. It's sad. He's gonna do his thing with the Patriots.
He's gonna be the comeback player of the year.
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
I understand it hurts.
It hurts. Listen, man,
I'll tell y'all this, right?
I've been very open and honest on this podcast. Tony and most of these guys, they've been a fan of the Panthers since day one. I became a diehard fan of the Panthers and will always be a fan of the Panthers the minute they drafted Cam Newton. That was my exposure. Like, that's what really got me into football. And I feel like that's also true for a lot of Panthers fans. Not every Panther fan might be able to admit it, but so many Panther fans came to this team because of Cam Newton. I want to spin that into this question. What would you say to someone like me who feels going into this season like, you know what, listen, Teddy Bridgewater is an incredible story. You know, everyone's pulling for him because of the injury that he sustained and how he's trying to revitalize his career or revitalize it. But tell me that I am wrong for having a lot of doubt in my head that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the next quarterback for the Panthers for the next 10 years. Like, how much hope should I and could I put into Teddy Bridgewater going into this year?
I feel like it's a day-to-day process, you know. We haven't seen the man play yet. Well, we play for the Panthers specifically. Right. We saw him, we saw him last year. He looked decent, but he was a game manager. Ultimately, he's like an Alex Smith type player.
Yeah,
and you know he's not the sexy pick. He's not going to make SportsCenter top 10 plays or anything like that. But he'll get the job done. And if he can somehow find a way to consistently get the job done, then I feel like it's a good enough reason to stay on board.
Who has more touchdowns in week 1? Bridgewater or Cam Newton? Oh,
I think Bridgewater.
What?
I think Bridgewater simply because of the weapons.
Hold on. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Who are the Patriots playing? I need to look it up.
I'm about to pull it up right now, actually.
So the question is,
they're playing the Dolphins, Cam.
Oh yeah, Cam. Never mind.
Y'all act like the Dolphins are good. It turns out we are the Dolphins. So who has more? How about this? Here's another way of looking at it. Who has more touchdowns, Fitzgerald or Carr?
You mean Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick, yeah.
Thank you.
Dude, a lot of people are saying the Dolphins are a sleeper team, man.
I know. They weren't all right. So Cam Newton opens up. These are tough questions to be asked. And as a Panther fan, what do you do? I mean, if Teddy comes out and throws 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, of course, everybody's going to be like, oh, my gosh, this is the same. Exactly. But what happens to the fan base when Cam Newton throws 2 and rushes for 2? What do you do if you're a Panthers fan? That's a tough question.
It is a tough question. It's one of those things you kind of got to ask yourself: are you a Cam Newton fan or are you a Carolina Panthers fan? It's tough. I know it's tough, but like I kind of see it kind of how like Cleveland Cavaliers fans were when LeBron made his decision. You know, a lot of them ended up flocking with him to Miami, and now they're with him in Los Angeles. but there's still like Cavaliers fans from back in the day when he first got drafted who are still Cavs fans to this day. And so I think it's a case by case basis.
Yeah. I have a question, and I think this has to, it's less about Cam and more about what we've seen from the organization this offseason. And your article touched base on it a lot. So the reasoning that we've already touched base on it a little bit, but the reasoning David Tepper gave in that meeting, there were two. They were saying that his salary didn't give us a competitive edge in the free agent market, and COVID. Right, those are the two main reasons. Right.
That's exactly right.
So we've addressed, and your article, I think, summed it up very well how the Panthers fan base feels about the deception that we feel like we have. And it seems every week, and luckily this week they kind of turned tail and got F.A. Obata back, but it feels as though it's from top down, the deception. And I know you got to play your cards right. You've got to you don't want to make F.A. Obata look like he's not a good player and ruin an opportunity with another organization. So you've got to talk with everybody.
But you don't want to be a plant either. Where you're coming out of
kiss of death.
Yeah. So but if somebody asks about somebody, yes, you want to talk positively about them, especially in a press environment. But our entire organization, for the past 3-4 months, has been, I can't wait to coach Cam, and then, Cam's not here anymore. I can't. I think Andre Smith is making great strides forward, and then he's cut. And then F.A. Obata, I really like. He's really done a lot I'm really high on F.A. Obata, and then he's cut. And then they tell us that Cam Newton was cut because of salary, because we didn't have a competitive edge in the free agent market. And
it turns out they're scared as fuck about his injuries.
Yeah. And then we signed Teddy Bridgewater, who, by the way, is
more injury prone.
Well, I wouldn't say he's more injury prone, but he's had much more serious injuries.
Right.
Or a much more serious injury.
He's just not injury clean.
Outside of just winning, what do you think the Panthers need to do to win back the fan base? Because they've lost them a lot. They're not being able to go to games is going to hurt them tremendously as well. The excitement levels. But what do they need to do at this point in time? Because right now, I think most people, and I've been riding on Rhule's coattails, I've been sitting there thinking like, yes, he's going to just give him an opportunity. Let's let him win. Let's let him get there and do what he needs to do. But right now, he is not putting a lot of faith in our hearts that he is this moral, ethical, uplifting human being who's going to lead this team to the promised land.
I understand that. So, fun fact, I have been a Panthers fan since 2003.
Yep.
My first NFL game I can remember was when the Panthers faced the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, what a good game.
Yeah,
what a good game. Yeah, 4 interceptions, right? 4
interceptions.
Great game. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And so that's why I feel like I got that perspective down, because I'm a fan myself, right? And so I'm looking at what you see as the deception, and it sucks, but at the end of the day, every team kind of handles their business that way. Not just in football, but in multiple sports leagues. I feel like a lot of times, like the front office and coaches, they try to save face and not be blunt about their decisions, because, I mean, those decisions hurt, with Cam and everything. But it's like, I saw you in the corner putting this up. I guarantee you, if the Panthers win games, all of this offseason stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. You get the W.
All of it.
Yeah.
If they win, the narrative will be, those changes were necessary.
But
they made a smart move. Yeah.
But if they don't
I have a real quick question. Yeah, and Tony, I was about to say the same thing. Okay, are you a bad Panther fan if you know how many good quarterbacks are on the horizon in next year's draft? Does it make you a bad Panthers fan if you're hoping that the Panthers have a bad season and end up in line for either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or Trey Lance Tell me. Take the guilt off my shoulders, man.
I feel like this. They gave Teddy 3 years, $63 million for a reason. They saw something that maybe everyone else doesn't see yet. So you got to give him a chance. I think you got to give him a chance. You have to give him a chance. They put all that faith in him.
Can I just say to that? I gotta say he was with the New Orleans Saints, who I feel like has had one of the best quarterbacks in. I mean, he's been a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback for the last 12, 13, 14 years. Easy.
So that's what you think is
hold on. If they don't believe that he can be, that Teddy Bridgewater can be the next big thing, what makes us believe it? Like if they're going to give up on him, what makes us feel like we can make him the next thing? Not saying he can't be. Not saying he can't be, but I mean, I'm just saying you look at play like Carolina. I feel like is always better at linebackers and defensive line. It's always been our strength point. I think last year was the first year we weren't one of the best defensive teams as far as running in the league. I think we went like 3 seasons in a row without allowing a 100-yard rusher, and then we allowed one, and then the floodgates opened. But that's kind of our thing is defensive in the front 7. I think New Orleans offense, wide receivers and quarterbacks. So if we take a quarterback from them that they didn't feel like could move forward, even though he won 5 games last year in Drew Brees' absence, what makes us think that we can do that?
I'll tell you.
That's my biggest issue with it.
Joe Brady.
Okay.
I mean, scheme.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I've been saying it for ages. Jason, you tell me if you agree with this, right?
What's up?
You have a Cam Newton who, you have a choice. And I'm not saying Joe Brady made the decision, right? You have the understanding that I've gotten is we're going to be running a more simplified version of what New Orleans runs. But what New Orleans runs is very complex and a very complicated system, which is why you don't see them drafting as many quarterbacks, is because it is hard to learn that system.
They don't need quarterbacks. I got Drew Brees. Wow.
But here's the thing. If you have a quarterback who understands the scheme, Teddy Bridgewater being in that system for the years that he was, then wouldn't you want to kind of get started off with a head start with somebody who knows how to run that scheme without having to teach him an entirely new that now not only do you have one less person you need to teach the scheme, you have one more person to help you explain it to the people that he needs to worry about. So I feel like, would you agree that the Teddy Bridgewater signing isn't just about Teddy Bridgewater, it's about the knowledge he got while he was in New Orleans?
Absolutely. I agree. I think a lot of the signings that Matt Rhule has made, well, not Matt Rhule specifically, but really Matt Rhule has been based on his connections with them because he has faith in them.
Yeah.
If you want to call it nepotism, call it nepotism. But
we want to be the Saints 2.0. Basically,
I'm not saying all that, but I feel like
the Saints are about to fall. I mean, they're about to lose a quarterback, and they don't have one in the reins. I mean, Taysom Hill is not the Eric.
He's not a quarterback.
No, I agree. He's not.
Greg, I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
Ultimately, why they wanted Teddy B? Because of that
Don't say it. I knew you were gonna say it because of the big. I knew you were gonna say it.
And it's up on the show. I've had it posted now the entire time y'all been talking about Teddy Bridgewater. That's why they wanted him.
Yeah. Teddy B is big D. Gonna win us games. Gonna ride that.
All right, you're so enamored with the D.
After this conversation,
no, you are, bro.
I think you are, guys.
No, I was ready to stick with Cam's.
Dude,
I was ready to stay with Cam's.
Then you. That's actually your favorite thing about him.
No, well, that's the only thing I know about him, homie. I know more about his D than I know about his game. How about that?
Which sounds like a problem.
No, well, you know what? Go and watch. I got the same amount of clips as you got. One. That's it. So ultimately is this. I am uninspired by the answer that we heard from Tepper about why we didn't go with Cam. That's it. It wasn't about why we went with Teddy. It was about why we didn't go with Cam. That's what I heard. All right, Jason Hewitt si.com. Jason, tell us what do you think? Who's going to win Sunday, and how can everybody follow your work?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot.
On the spot? All
What
right.
we do here, man?
Who's going to win?
I mean, okay.
Last Sunday.
Think with your head, not your heart. We want your head, not your heart opinion here. Who
Absolutely.
That's what Teddy said.
The thing is, I'm not a fan of either defense, so I expect a shootout. Will it happen? We'll see. But I got the Raiders winning by 14.
You want to know why?
14.
Okay.
This comes down to a battle of offensive lines.
There it is.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. Yeah.
Because
you look at their
it's a young team. It is a young team, man. That's the thing. And I'm not a big fan of young teams in week one, especially coming out of Corona. It's just I'm not gonna say it's recipe for disaster.
Did you see Navy? Did you see Navy? Did you see Navy? And they couldn't tackle anyone. That's what happened. Is a young team with Corona. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. We'll see. I don't know what to think. Tough. All right, tell them where they can find your work. We also, just tell them where you can find your work. And thank you so much for coming on and hanging out for a whole damn hour. That's awesome.
Hey, at least I can do it. I'm having fun with y'all, man. Absolutely. But yeah, you can find me at si.com/NFL/Panthers. You can follow us on Twitter on at SI_Panthers. We have a Facebook page as well, Carolina Panthers on Sports Illustrated. You can find me at Jason Hewitt 50 on Twitter. I try to tweet fire every now and then, so feel free to follow me on there.
Dude, open invite on Tuesdays. We're here. We'll also be here after the game. Anytime you want to just hang out and talk Panthers, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Jason, I had one more question for you. I asked one earlier. I had to save the second one for last. Do you play Madden? I'm here. Do you play Madden? And if you do, what's your gamer tag so I can attempt to drag you in that game? I'll hit you up later personally. If you want to put it out here. I don't play
Madden. Madden's been disappointing me the past few years.
Like everybody else.
I got Madden 20 and I played for 3 weeks. I paid the $60 and everything. I was so pissed that I uninstalled the game.
Truth.
Okay. I haven't played the new one yet, but I plan on very soon.
I've heard good things about the new
every year, man. Every year they make you buy the same damn game.
Yeah,
but it's like that with everything. 2K.
EA Sports, it's all the same.
That's right. It's always different. Every time you play it, it's different. So.
Is there a game you do play, Jason?
Ooh.
Is there a game that you do play?
UFC 4. I play that.
Yeah, my man. All right.
I'm a big MMA fan, so there's that. I play a lot of Red Dead too.
There you go. I like that.
I stream Call of Duty is why I was asking. So,
dude, I'm gonna message you about some UFC fights too, man.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, hit me up. All of y'all hit me up. I'm having fun with y'all, so it's cool.
Word up.
Yeah.
What'd you say your Twitter handle was again, real quick?
I got it. We'll send it to you. Let's move on. Hey, I got you. His name is here. Say it one more time.
It's at Jason Hewitt 50.
All right, Greg. Did you get it?
Man. I got it, I think. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jason. Wonderful. And I know I dragged this shit on forever, so it don't matter. But I'm mad at Greg right now.
Oh.
Mad at Greg.
Greg,
I'm gonna go take your pig to the slaughterhouse.
Oh.
He has a pet pig. He has a pet pig. We'll be fighting. All right, thanks, Jason. All right, let's keep going. The reason I say that slaughterhouse stuff is just because I saw I was driving my own kids to school today. And we drove past the Smithfield tractor trailer packed full of piglets, man. Packed. And I was like, bacon. My kids were so sad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's going to be your bacon That's going to be your porch. All right. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. It's opening week, guys. We're playing the Raiders, and that's why I reached out to my friend, Lo the Jew. Lo, is it uncouth for me to call you Lo the Jew?
Oh, you already did it, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now I can keep calling you that, or I can uncall you that. Actually, I will never stop calling you that.
Yeah. Once you said it, it's said.
It's in my phone, bro. It is immortal.
When you got the face like this and the hair, the Jew fro, you just kind of roll with it, accept it, and move on.
It's Little Dickie's older brother right here.
Hey, question. Do you get the Adam Sandler comparison all the time?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. All the time.
All right, so Lo is my buddy.
I didn't even see it until you mentioned it. You do have the Adam Sandler. Wow,
He's
look like Adam Sandler in the face.
No, you don't look like Adam Sandler. You look like Little Dickie's older brother. That's what I would say. All right, so Lo's my buddy, who is a Raiders fan, and also, most importantly, turned me on to Little Dickie years ago now. Years and years ago. Straight up. I mean, this was 2014, right? And in 2015, my wife and I saw Little Dickie in the airport in Paris right after he dropped that, what was it, Molly song?
I think that's
what was it? That was like the real sad one that he dropped about his like old girlfriend.
Someone in the chat room says it looks like Be Real from the Start Bill. Dude, that's the good one right there, man. Be Real.
I'm telling you.
I think that's just the hair.
Yeah. Look, I'm bringing it out too. Look, I got it too. All right, so Lo's my boy. He turned me on to Little Dickie, and Little Dickie has blown up. And this was years before this happened. But Lo, we brought him on tonight, not because he's a Jew, but because he's a Raiders fan. Oh! All right, the Panthers are opening up against them. We're hosting in a fanless game. We're hosting the
cardboard cutout, by the way.
Yeah. And I was going to call them the LA Oakland Raiders, but turns out they are the Las Vegas Raiders. Mm-hmm. The Raiders are on the road against the Panthers. Are you even excited about football at this point?
Yeah, I'm excited about anything. Anything different. Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough couple decades being a Raiders fan, but fantasy football kind of takes up the slack. I got something to root for, but it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. It's going to be different and weird, but yeah, I'm down.
Are you telling me that you don't miss Jamarcus Russell?
Of course he does.
I don't want to get into that. Yeah.
I apologize.
He only knew Jamarcus Russell for like 4 seconds too.
Yeah,
so how can he really miss him? All right, so the Raiders
I wanted Megatron so bad that year, but yeah.
Oh,
we
that's
can't go back.
Sick. Oh, yeah, no, we can't. So let's go to Sunday. So the Oakland Raiders, we don't know much about the Carolina Panthers, but the Oakland Raiders, what were you guys, 7-9 last year, right? You've got Gruden. Is this his third season now? Or
third out of 10. This is year 3.
Million, right?
Year 3?
Yeah.
All right.
So they started out 4-12.
30 million year right here.
All right, 4-12, then 7-9.
7-9.
And a lot of positive moves.
Yeah, you're trying to get younger. You're trying to get faster. You get Mike Mayock, right? Who is I liked Mike Mayock as in hosting all those different things. But what they've put together is this. They've put an Las Vegas Raiders team
There you go.
that is very young on the offense, right? You got a exceptional back in Jones. You've got some exciting names when it comes to Henry Ruggs. They have been overly pumping up Brian Edwards Jr. Not overly, but geez, you're going to try to tell me you got the two best rookies in the world on the same team at the same moment. It's a very young receiving core. Where's this Oakland team going? Is it all Carr? Is it what is going on with where they're at in year 3?
Well, I mean, Carr, they basically rebuilt the entire team for the most part. They've got very few players left. I think like 2 or 3 left or something like that from before the Gruden era started. He took care of a lot of people. Mayock came in and cleaned house. They, like you said, they wanted to get faster. One big difference this year from prior years is linebackers. They've had nobody. They've been literally picking people up off the streets a couple of years ago, 2 years in a row, to come in and start at middle linebacker for them. So they went out and got Corey Littleton and I'm going to mess up the name, but Kwiatkowski from the Bears. Yeah. So in their base defense, they usually go with 2 linebackers, so it'll generally be those 2. They've got a couple, again, unknowns. Morrow, it's guy Nick Morrow, a couple other people who will come in. They've got some depth. They just traded to the Dolphins. They got Raquan McMillan, who's a good run stopper, but so he'll be in there early downs. Their defensive line, this is kind of the defensive line that's probably going to make or break this team, along with some of the linebacker help. Their cornerbacks, their defensive backfield has been awful for a long time too. They've spent a lot of higher round picks. It's similar to you guys in that we've got. I say we. I'm not a big we. I don't play for them, but we've got a rookie cornerback, Arnett out of Ohio State on one side. Trayvon Mullen, he's in his second year. He started 10 games last year. They picked up Prince Mukamura and dropped him.
Oh, loved him back in the day.
Yeah. They picked up a couple. They've got
somebody from
Abram,
Eagles, right? Sidney Jones
yeah.
I can't remember. It was somebody who was like a backup cornerback that had to play a lot for the Eagles because their cornerback situation was dismal last year.
Yeah, they were pretty miserable too. But
so where is the strength of this team then, though?
That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to tell. They've got 7 new starters on defense, so maybe it'll be there. Probably not. Again, their linebacking,
that running back, right?
Running back, their tight end Waller is probably elite. Maybe top 5, depending, but definitely top 10.
Where'd you draft him in fantasy?
6th round. I have him all on my teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
All my teams.
He lasted till 6th round for you?
Oh yeah, we go. My league's heavy running backs. I'm almost all running backs in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
So
Same. Good strategy.
yeah, I did get Jacobs. I didn't get McCaffrey. He's obviously he's elite.
Yeah.
He's number 1 pick.
So
Number 1
I had
pick,
8th and 9th, I think, in my leagues that I just drafted in. So, but yeah, Carr, it's his 3rd year in the system. This is kind of make or break for him. He's got no guaranteed money next year.
What do you? All right, so I want to ask you a complicated question about him, which is, what do you think about him? But I really want to more know about this running back. What's his name?
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. JJ. Yeah. He's like the boss, man, right? I was at the bar tonight. I have to take my kid to dance.
The bar.
Oh,
Not to
that's
the
right.
bar.
I was like,
I'll
wait,
take my
what?
kid to the bar.
Can't leave them home. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. But I dropped them off at dance, and I was sitting at the bar beside the dance place, basically. And these guys were having a fantasy football draft. I was like, y'all do that in person still? That's cool. That's neat. And there was this old people that were all. And this mug, I ain't gonna lie, I want to give him a high five. He had a Miami Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa jersey on. Old dude.
Wow.
This mug was like 68. Straight Tagovailoa jersey. Like he bought that mug right. He must be. And I said, what's y'all half point PPR? He said, no PPR.
Oh,
Damn.
no way.
I was like, no PPR.
Not playing that league.
I was like, well, you better get Zeke. Or you better get, and I told him to get, I said, he was 7th. I said, you better get that Jacobs kid, that Oakland running back. Was I wrong in saying that?
I've seen Jacobs go anywhere from 7th to like 15th. So depends on how much you like him. But
How
in a
much
straight
do you
up
like
league,
him?
I love him. I mean, last year he broke his shoulder in week 7, played 4 or 5 more games. 3 of the game, he had 500-yard rushing games last year. 3 of them came after he broke his shoulder. Well, one of them was during the game he broke it against the Packers. He's got quickness. He's got moves. He'll run over you. He had like 70 broken tackles last year or something like upwards of that. And I think he played 13 games
very
total.
good to me.
The only thing he doesn't have is probably the breakaway speed, but he's got enough. But, you know. I mean,
Josh
nobody's gonna
Jacobs to me, Josh Jacobs reminds me of one of those runners like a Leonard Fournette. Like they're not overly fast, but they can just mow you down. And he's a really good pass catcher. I feel like he wasn't utilized enough almost, but I mean they did utilize him that way. But he's a versatile running back. He can do it all.
Yeah, and they didn't give him that chance last year. I think he had like 20 catches. He had a couple drops in the beginning of the season. They kind of went away from it. They had a couple different third down backs last year, and some of them are still, 1 or 2 of them are still there. They've got some issues at backup running back. Hopefully that won't be an issue. Won't even be used. I mean, I'm hoping they use him as a bell cow.
Yeah.
Like McCaffrey. I'd like to see him. Of course, I have him on one of my teams, so I would like to see him go 3 downs. But no, they did talk him up and that he's going to be much more involved in the passing game, but we'll see. And Gruden's game is West Coast. It's a lot of short passes, crossing routes. Occasionally you go deep on it, and that's about it. So he's going to be there. And Carr gets there. I mean, Carr, so that gets us in the car. I'm a fan because I remember the last 20 years, or 18 years or whatever, since Rich Gannon was there. Like Jamarcus Russell and, God knows all the other people in between.
Do you think that the Carr criticism is a little overboard, though? I do. I think I personally... Oh, don't go that far.
You
Why
sound
not?
like
He can be an MVP. Why not?
Well, so
Like,
I
he was
could
MVP
jump
before he got his
if
leg
I
broke.
could jump.
He was going to win the MVP before he got his leg broke.
Yes.
And he has better. I feel like Ruggs is a better receiver than Cooper.
I don't think he was going to win, but it's hard not to remember, David.
This
just think about
farther than I was comfortable with.
Think about this: when we were playing him with a healthy Cam Newton that year that Derek Carr went apeshit, right? He came back with a broken finger, and he won the game after they were down by like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh man, I forgot about it until you made me
a broken
remember.
finger.
He was out for like a quarter and a half, and we just destroyed. And then he came back out with a broken finger and was able to pull his team back into a victory.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you my biggest question, or not my biggest question, a question I want to ask a Raiders fan here. They'll do it?
Nah, you can ask the question. I'm talking about y'all's love. I'm just doing hand signals.
I thought you were telling me not to ask.
Love for Derek Carr, whatever.
Derek Carr's a good quarterback, man. 4,000 yards every year, 20 touchdowns every year. I mean, he's an on-par quarterback, better than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. But my question is about Darryl Worley.
MVP, though.
He was good. He had a good chance to be an MVP. If Cam Newton
If
did
he
go
didn't break
15-1,
his leg.
he had a great chance
let's
to be an
move
MVP
on
that
to
year.
Daryl Worley, or else
Anyway,
I'm going to ruin this show.
Daryl Worley, because on this podcast we have chastised Daryl Worley. We have talked about how bad he was, why he got out of Carolina, and how he's not been a good cornerback outside of Carolina. I'm looking at his stats from last year. 15 games. He was fourth in y'all's team in tackles, only 2 behind Morrow, and he played 1 less game, so he probably would have beat him then. 1 interception, I mean, this guy seems like he's doing. How do you feel about Daryl Worley? Do you feel like he is a solid starting cornerback? Because I feel like he was before we dropped him. We let go of him, even though I felt like he still had a lot to blossom from. Because once again, I always go back to Josh Norman. We stuck with him forever, and he was garbage the first 5 years we had him. So, what do you think about Daryl Worley? He was.
I don't know how he was on Carolina, but he was turnstile out in Oakland. They were all awful. Don't get me wrong. Their whole defense.
I got you. I just wanted to know because he had the second most passes defended. He had the fourth most tackles in our team last year. I mean, you may not like him, but the stats show that he was one of the best defensive players you guys had.
I hate Daryl Worley more than anybody.
Stats.
Part of the problem was that he's downfield covering somebody, and then he's got to turn around and tackle somebody who's 10 yards away from him already because he got past the rest of the defense.
True.
So
very good point.
Worley. Again, it's kind of symptomatic of the whole Raiders defense. Not just last year, but for years. He didn't play well there. He didn't rate well. He may have had a lot of tackles, but it's just counting stats. It's not. It wasn't.
You know what? Good for him that he's on the team right now. A. And B, you know what? Is that we weren't, again, this is how I feel like with so many Panthers players. We were not rooting against you. We just didn't like you.
Well, I will say that.
And from the beginning, I was not rooting against Daryl Worley. I just didn't like him. He was getting burned all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And then he goes to Philly. He passes out in an intersection. And it just verified everything, bro.
But also, people
he
forget
beat
all
that
the
girl
context.
up in the bar at West
People
Virginia.
forget
Do you
all
remember
the
that?
context.
Punch that girl.
But listen. People forget all the context of what happened during that game. James Bradbury, before that game against Atlanta, had a foot injury or a toe injury or some shit. And then Daryl Worley had to sub in for him.
Corn Elder is the best wide.
Why is that not, dude? Like I was saying at the time, that was Ron Rivera and Dave Gettleman's fault for even putting them in that situation.
Nah. Number one is this. All right, I agree with some of that. I will say this is that let's bring this back up. Is you remember my boy Ben Wickery who got burnt for 300?
Wow, that's the name. Wow.
Yeah. How about this? Was that his fault?
My boy Benet. Yeah.
That's my boy, yo. Nah, that mug was a player. But you know what they did? He's off a major leg injury. A major. You're talking Alex Smith type leg injury the year before. Mm-hmm. And then you want to just say, here, go cover Julio on your own? Fuck you. Nah. And then they cut him the next day. So F them. No. Ben gets a pass on that. And the other thing is the same thing happened to Corn Elder. And I'm not trying to say Corn Elder's awesome. I'm not trying to say that. Is that all we know about Corn Elder is that he got burned by Julio in that game. Wasn't it Julio? I think it was Julio. It was something like that.
Even Luke Kuechly got burned. You remember Luke Kuechly jumping up to get that pass? Interception all the way. Julio jumps right over and grabs it from him.
Just jump right over him.
You can't.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, Julio jump over anybody.
So here's the thing. Is I'm not gonna shit on those dudes for poor. Like, they were put in positions that ran them out of the league. Personally, that's what I think. But when it comes to Daryl Worley, from day one, I saw this motherfucker be a zone corner from the day one. And you know what? I didn't dislike him, but he got burnt and beat. And sorry, And maybe he's better now. I'm all right with it, with saying that. But let's not act like Daryl Worley.
Oh, I'm not saying he's one of the best in the league, but he was obviously the best cornerback on the Raiders last year.
But numbers lie sometimes.
Sometimes.
And we have a Raiders fan here who's telling us,
he might also have, he also probably had a lot of tackles because, his guy catches the
Cody,
ball. Right,
carry it.
So was Lawson Conley better than Worley last year? Either one of those two guys, cornerbacks?
Oh, Conley.
Yeah, because they have literally you can take the amount of tackles and add them up and multiply them by 2, and you don't have Daryl Worley's tackles. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, Conley was only on the team for a couple games before they traded him, thankfully.
Yeah.
Stats for a secondary for tackles, I don't think are good, honestly.
Over 50,
unless you're playing a safety in the box.
Yeah. Like for a cornerback, I don't think you want to have a lot of tackles. Like honestly, if you ask me, I mean, if you're a cornerback, stats like a tackle stat is not the stat you want. Like the stat you want is interceptions, pass breakups.
Yeah, I get that. You're right.
The passer rating against you, how many touchdowns were thrown against you. Those are the things that I think are most important. And one interception in an entire year when you started 15 games doesn't seem very impressive.
Josh Norman had one last year, just so you know.
Yeah, but on one of the
just saying.
So listen, I have a question. So, and I kind of brought this up to you before the show when we were talking a little bit. You have a lot of new young guys on that defensive line. Cleveland Farrell was the number 4 pick in the draft last year, and everybody wanted to clown Mike Mayock and Gruden for drafting him too high. I'm a Clemson fan, so I'm biased. Of course, I'd like the dude. I don't think that you're seeing the best out of him. But what's your feeling about the Raiders' edge rush this year? Max Crosby came out of nowhere. Arden Key was a big-time player for LSU, who I haven't heard much of since he's been with the Raiders. Tell me what you feel about your pass rush and specifically your edges.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a big question mark, and it has been. 2 years ago, they had 13 sacks for the year, which is laughable.
Abysmal.
Last year, I think it was in the 30s, which is way better, but still towards the bottom of the league. The big move, I mean, Farrell, you'd like to see. He was probably a reach at 4, but then again, you got Mike Mayock, the guy who puts the rankings out there, who works for the Raiders, so he might have bumped that ranking up for him if he had been there. Who knows? But they brought in Rod Marinelli from the Cowboys, the D-line coach. I mean, I think that's the biggest move, honestly. And they brought in who did they bring in? Carl Nassib and Malik Collins is the big get. That's what I was thinking of. That guy's a monster, just eats double teams. The edge, Arden Key, you mentioned, he's been hurt a lot. So the last 2 years, it's been, he's ready. I'm in the best shape of my life kind of thing. Like, every year you're in the best shape of your life.
We believe you.
So it's time to prove it on the field for Key.
Right.
They've got a lot better depth this year. They've got it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they've got a couple new players. Same thing with the entire defense is you've got this new unit, new offensive line coach or defensive line coach rather, and you haven't been able to see anything. So I have no idea. I'm hoping the names look good. You're hearing the right things from people. Yeah, they look great. This guy looks great, although Nassib doesn't look that great apparently, but we'll see how that goes. You'd like to see Farrell. He had like 4.5 sacks last year. You'd like to see him get up to, double digits would be great. Crosby had double digits on the other side, but they both got double teamed quite a bit. If you get Collins, Nassib, maybe Maurice Hurst, they've got down in the interior line. If you get some interior line push, then you're not going to be able to double team on the edges. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's been. Mac had 20 sacks 3 years ago, or the year before they had 13. So you take somebody like that away, obviously one of the best defensive players in the world, and there was nobody else there. So they're building the team. we'll see. I mean, it's a crapshoot this year. Again, I'd love to say, see, as a Raiders fan, because back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the Raiders were just, I mean, they were the most winningest franchise in sports history. They just won a lot. Since then, it's been nightmarish. So, you know, you drink the Kool-Aid every year, but it's more of a show me kind of thing at this point. I like the direction they're going. Their average age on defense, I think, is 24 years old. So they're going to be there for a while.
World.
So
we got the same worlds right there. Do you think is Gruden as good as advertised?
I'm kind of on the fence about Gruden personally. I mean, he's a great showman, but it's hard to believe what he says. He loves everybody. Everybody. He's a great football player.
There's the testament to what Jason was saying earlier.
Yeah. So it's hard to tell. His offense is more dink and dunk, which can work. I mean, Drew Brees does it for the most part. He goes a little deeper. He has a little more air yards, but average air yards, he's less than Carr, and Carr is like, you know, nothing. So, so you can win doing that. He's just, I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's finally rebuilt the team to where it's everybody that he wanted.
Yeah.
Of course, when he did that in Tampa, they went from Super Bowl to shitty. So we'll see. Hopefully it works better here than it did there.
Too. So I have one more real fast question for you. I kind of think that, contrary to popular belief, I think the Raiders are going to try and air out the football against the Panthers. I kind of think that if you look at Gruden and Mayock, they're going to look at this team, see how many rookies and young guys we're going to have on our backfield. And I kind of think they're going to come out aggressive. I think David Carr is going to take some shots, and I think they're going to try and look for Henry Ruggs deep down the field. Do you think the same thing? Do you think that the Raiders are going to try and do something more of a pass-happy offense, or is the game plan just feed Jacobs, pound the rock?
I mean, it could go either way. Their offensive line is tough. They've got a really solid offensive line. Hudson is great. Brown, obviously. Incognito played great. They drafted Colton Miller a couple of years ago. He's about average last year, but on the way up. So you hope he could take that next step. You don't know. But and then Gabe Jackson was an All-Pro a couple of years ago and kind of had a couple so-so seasons. So they definitely have the line. They have some road graders on there to run it. But Gruden is always, I mean, I say always, both times with the Raiders, he likes that West Coast offense. So it's almost like, you know, a handoff, pass handoff. But you got Jacobs. I mean, the guy's a monster. But then
he's amazing.
Toy. Yeah. So I saw a couple games. I wouldn't be surprised. I saw a couple games over the last couple of years where the Raiders come out and first or second play action, and they air it out. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened right off the bat.
He likes that. He likes, at least in his commentary, right, is that we watched John Gruden for a good amount of time on, what was it? Was it Monday night, Sunday? What was he on? Monday Night Football?
I think it was Monday night.
And he always praised those aggressive shots downfield. And I think that's what he believes that the running game sets up. I think Panthers fans would be simple to just think that the Raiders are going to target the Panthers secondary because of course they are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, duh. But I think they're gonna pound that rock, play action, and go deep. Right? And he's going to do that quick. They might even play action on the first play of the game. Like, it will be something just like that. They like he likes, while he does like an underneath game, he likes the aggressiveness of a downfield shot early. So I would not be surprised. Lowell, do you think that you're overly built on rookies on offense?
Wide receiver. I mean, obviously, you got
obviously Jason Witten makes up for all of it, right?
Yeah, he brings the average.
How old is he really on your team?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why. John Gruden freaking loves tight ends. They got 4 tight ends on the team.
Oh my goodness.
They're constantly
He's so old, dude.
Joke. Yeah, but I think that last year was a little bit different. I think last year they made up a whole offense around Antonio Brown, and then Antonio Brown did. So, I mean, it just went to shit like days before the season started. Tyrell Williams went down with a foot, and then
I hate him.
After that, it was.
I love him. I drafted him everywhere, and he ruined my life.
This year, you drafted him?
No, last year. And I thought he was going to be the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought he was going to be the thing, and he wasn't.
There's only so many things out there.
That turns out he was not that thing.
Yeah. But I think with the Raiders, I think you're right. They're going to pound the rock a little bit. They'll get the linebackers to creep up. Then they got Ruggs, so you got safety help over the top where you maybe have to cover him. You got Brian Edwards, who he was hurt during the combine. They said he had first-round talent. And like you said, they're talking him up in the Gruden is talking about. Carr seems to love him. Then you got Renfro, who's your, Edelman light, your possession specialist with a little bit of extra actually, but the guy can run some routes. And then you got Waller. Right. So when the linebackers come up, when you have to cover over the top, that opens up the middle of the field for someone like Waller or for Renfro. So I think that's kind of it. Carr's never really, since he had Cooper and Crabtree, he's never really had this kind of weapons. But it's all about him. The guy, he's not mobile. He has the ability to extend plays with his legs, but he doesn't do it well. I think there's been 2 or 3 times where he dove and reached for the end zone and got the ball knocked out of his hand.
Guess who never did that?
Yeah, through the end zone. So, it's a touchback.
There's a guy that used to play for the Panthers who never had the ball swatted away from him while he was trying to cross the goal line.
You got that salt out tonight, man. Just rubbing in the wounds real hard, ain't you? Just rub it right into that wound there. Yeah.
So the smart money, supposedly, I don't believe this. I really am taken aback by this. The Panthers were favored by 1.5.
Really?
And now, at one point, the money moved sharply to the Las Vegas Raiders being 3-point favorites now. So what that means is that some, or at least what I know about gambling, right? I'm not an expert gambler. I don't set the lines, but what I believe I know about gambling is that the line was set where the Panthers were the favorite, which to me is bizarre.
Well, you get 3 points automatically for being home.
But not when there's no fans. I think we got
maybe.
You're playing a West Coast team too,
right? So they're coming here, and this all of a sudden, the money has shifted. The Raiders are a 3-point favorite now. So the money has swung, which I don't know what that means. Does that mean that most people are betting the Raiders now, and they're trying to get people to bet the Panthers, right? Because the more money that goes on to the Raiders, it would go to 4 or 5 points, right? Mm-hmm. So ultimately, is what do you think? The Raiders are on the road. What do you think is going to happen on Sunday? And can we hang out and watch it together?
You got mask. Wait, we're not supposed to talk about COVID. I'm sorry.
Dude, I just got tested. I'm COVID free.
Nice. Yeah, my wife and daughter got tested today, so I'll let you know tomorrow if we can hang out this weekend.
Test or no test, dude. I don't care.
You can virtually hang out. Yeah. We've been social distancing for 8 years now, right?
I know. I'm not hanging out with Lowell forever. I got we have a perpetual pandemic, you and I now, Lowell.
Yeah, I know it. Seriously. It has been a while. But yeah, this weekend should be interesting. I don't think anybody knows what to expect with any of these games, but
I agree.
One of the things the Raiders have going for them at quarterback, and as you know, that the Panthers don't, is continuity. So that'll help in this, what we've got going on now. But
yeah, abnormal world.
Right. But, there's also something to be said for like taking a bus to the airport, plane, a bus to the hotel, staying overnight, bus to the game, and then back. And, the next day you're back 3 hours later, earlier again. So the Raiders do not have a good record on the East Coast. Although it's a little different. They've been practicing at 7:30 in the morning now because it's, 120 degrees where they are. But so is it a night game?
No, it's at 1. It's at 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yep.
But yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, I tell you what, like 2 years ago, I think it's
going to be
all
boring.
over the Raiders.
I think it's going to be boring. I think football is going to be.
I think it's going to be far from boring.
I think it's going to be. I think we're going to make it fun. I think we're going to be excited about it. I think they could play as whatever. I'm just saying this is I think COVID football is not going to be as exciting as non-COVID football.
I disagree with you. I think the offenses are going to be a little further along. I think the defenses are probably going to end up suffering the worst. And even though it might be sloppy, I think you could end up seeing a few high-scoring games. Yeah, I think the lack of practice kind of benefits the offense a little more than it does the defense. I could be wrong about that. But, Tony, you want to throw a curveball since we still got all 6 people on here? You wanna do some predictions early and see what everyone see who everyone's picking on this game. We can do who we think's gonna win and what the final score will be, and then we can come back and see kind of who got the closest.
Still got to get to the cat call. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
so let's the entire NFC South though, right? Like all year, we're keeping track of that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, let's just do
no, we gotta. Oh, Greg, you're the stat daddy. You gotta keep up with it.
I will keep up with it, but I do know that if New England wins,
if you keep up with it, I will give you a hug.
Tampa Bay wins the first game, Tony. That's $5 to me. So,
say that again. How much do I owe you?
I have it written down right here. You bet
please.
they would not win their first game.
Who?
And you bet
what team?
That Tom Brady would not win his first game as in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and I took that bet. And I've got it written down. I'm telling you. So,
all right,
I'm gonna win some.
And Tony's like, all right, hey, maybe you did.
Maybe
another conversation entirely, but I have my opinions on that team.
All right, so I think the Panthers lose. All right, y'all go first.
Well, I tell you what, we haven't heard from Jason in a minute. Jason, I know you mentioned earlier you think it might even be a 2-touchdown game here. So who you picking and what's your final score?
Raiders 38-24.
38-24. Damn. All right. I respect that. All right.
That's a
Bad
lot
Daddy,
of
what
points.
you have, man?
Everybody's defense suck up.
I'm gonna say Carolina 27-24 win.
27-24 Carolina.
38. He said 38-24. That was big time, bro. That's a lot of points.
Look at the defense. Look at the defense.
I'm getting nervous, man. Now all of a sudden it makes me feel scared about my life.
In the game,
I feel like a woman walking down the darkly lit hallway.
Tony, what's
You would. CK with the golden voice. What say you?
So I think the Panthers lose. I think I may have called the Panthers winning this maybe a couple of months ago, but that was before we lost all continuity in our secondary. And so I really do believe, I mentioned it earlier, I think this comes down simply to offensive line play, and that is bottom line. That is going to be what it is. Mm-hmm. And if their offensive line outplays our offensive line, regardless of how good the defenses are, they're going to destroy us.
See,
So I'm thinking that
statement doesn't make any sense, regardless of how good the defenses are, because your offensive line can only play so good depending on how the defensive line that you're playing against plays, right? I mean, so
not
regardless,
necessarily.
no, it does. I mean, if the defensive line, your offensive line is garbage, period. Like that to me, that doesn't make.
But what I'm
sense.
saying is,
Yeah.
let's look at it in this perspective. They have They have much better quality on the offensive line than we do. We have one person on our offensive line you guys think you probably can trust, and that's Russell Okung, and we don't know what he's able to do because he hasn't played in a minute, right? So that's it. So let me tell you this. I think that it's going to come down to that.
Homie.
I could see this being a situation. I didn't hear what you said, Tony, but I could see this being a situation where we get destroyed in the air and they don't stop. Because why stop?
What's the score? Got to write it down.
Whoa.
35-18.
Oh,
Like, you can't hear my voice right now?
I can hear you now, but you cut out because, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to know the score.
35.
We got 6 people here. What's up? Oh, we got 3
Our
scores.
defense is
Lowell, now is your
atrocious.
chance, man. Call your shot.
Well, I gotta pick the Raiders here. Yeah, we'll go 31-24.
All
Okay.
right, 31-24. I guess I'll go,
Panthers.
man. I'm going. Well, unless you want to go first, Tony.
Nah, he was saying the Panthers win 31. No.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Pick the Raiders. Dude, what the hell, man? Don't put words in that man's
Come on.
mouth. I'll tell you what I'll say, man. I'm seeing the Raiders winning, and I think it's going to be 28-17. And I think Christian McCaffrey scores 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
So I'm really calling my shot.
Tony?
But I do think the
How are
Raiders
you
can-
guys even seeing this?
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you, Tony. So I got
Like, I
Tell me
tried to
Carolina
put the
lose.
Seer
Yeah.
stones on, and guess what they had in them? Fucking
Teddy B's D.
darkness. Nothing. Yeah. It was like a big Teddy BD right in my eyeballs. Nothing. How do we know? How do we know if this Panthers? I would say this is I will eat crow on Tuesday on the post game. Don't forget we got
Sunday.
a post game show.
You'll
Yeah.
eat crow on Sunday.
I
Right.
will if Teddy B and this offense comes out firing like crazy. Because if Joe Brady is the mastermind you guys tell me he is, I'm gonna be happy.
I just want everyone
And
to
you
temper
can
their
put Teddy
expectations.
B's D right on my face if that happens.
I got to know your score, man. What's your score?
Yeah, what's your score?
It's not. No, these teams are not gonna be good on week 1.
That doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so what's your score?
Score.
I don't know if we're gonna. I hate.
Dude, you're
picking
thinking way
against
too
us.
hard, man.
Yeah, you are.
Just throw
27,
something-
20. You know what? It's gonna be like 23 to 15.
Who?
No. How do I pick
No,
against
man,
Panthers?
Tony,
I don't
this
know.
is not hard to do at all. Who do you think is going to win the football game on Sunday? The
All right.
Raiders and the Panthers.
All right, it is gonna be 24 to 17. Carolina Panthers.
Nice.
Oh shit! All right.
Nice. And you know what? That's 2 wins for Carolina, 3 losses. Or excuse me, 4 losses for Carolina. I'll
It's
take
gonna be
anybody
our
here.
only win of the
I'll take
season.
anybody here $5 says straight up, no spread. Carolina wins on Sunday.
You bet
$5?
five. All right, I'll take that bet.
I put 5 on. it. Okay.
Uh,
You got another one?
I got 5 on.
I'm not about to listen. That would be a good bet for Carolina Panthers to take because you win either way, but and you lose either way technically.
And poor Greg. Oh, do you guys remember a homie who said he would give everybody a Bowberry biscuit that did this? He's funny. He's on Twitter. God, what is his name? And that it happened. And it was like 5,000 Bow biscuits, and he backed out. Like everybody was like sorry, bro. Like, I couldn't do it. He said if ever, what was
for
his
prime minister
name,
of
man?
Canada.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so the Panthers, Lowell, the Jew.
Yes, sir.
Don't confuse him with his religion.
Yeah, with all the other Lowell.
Or with Adam Sandler.
He's my boy, man. No, we're
Or
back.
with Rhule.
All right. So you're picking the Raiders to win. Thank you for coming on the podcast tonight. I would say, where could they follow you? Blah, 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 blah. But obviously they can follow you in the garage that Shireen is probably not going to let you hang out in, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm too old for Twitter and all that. You know.
All right, will you come back on? How about this? Will you pop in after the game just for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be sitting right next to you. Yeah, I'll just aim the camera at me.
Yes. My man is going to hang out with me again. Thank you, Lo.
Only for you, you dirty Italian.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, dude.
All right, good luck, guys. Man. Not too much luck this week, but good luck.
That's
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Yeah, man.
All right, you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The number is 252-228-5098. I believe I can load up some calls in a second.
Yeah. Chef Jeff said make sure to refresh because he sent in a call.
And CK, with the season bets, I have bets 2 against Tony, 3 against Cody. I have none against you, brother. We've got to come up with a bet this year.
How many do we? Do you have them all written down?
I feel like I just gonna have to pay your mortgage.
For Tony, I have that Carolina wins at least 6 games. That's $10. I have that New England wins their first game. Tony says they lose. That's $5. Cody, all yours are $5. I have Clowney has more sacks than Samuel has touchdowns, $5.
Right. Yeah.
Bobby Anderson has more touchdowns than Curtis Samuel, $5.
All right,
and you're probably gonna lose that one. And the newest one you said that Carolina does not win week 1, $5. So
yeah,
I'm looking at like at least $25 right here.
All right, man. All right, I hope you.
I will pay your mortgage later, bro.
my thoughts on the super team. No other dream team has ever worked outside of
not in football. In basketball, it has, but not.
What was our bet about Tampa again?
Tampa would win week 1 against
the first. Tampa Bay would. I said Tampa Bay would lose the first game. You said they would win.
They play the Saints.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good about that.
I have New England. I have New England lose his first game. Tony says that. So you said they would lose. I said they would win.
Who? What team?
I said the Saints would win. You said they would. No, I've got to go back. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said because I feel like New England will win, but
no, but you're saying New England. You mean Tampa?
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you mean it's weird.
Man.
You know
Tampa Bay.
I may be wrong about that bet. It may be a total bet against New England because Cam's in New England now. I may have said New England's going to win their first game.
Nah,
I got to go back.
To the
you'll have to clarify.
Yeah.
Do you know how many hours of tape?
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm a tape rat. I'll do it.
All right, let's go. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. The number is 252-228-5098, where Greg bets everything. And I lose everything.
No.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in the snow? Who's that kid that can use one?
What up, C3? It's your boy Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Supreme Leader.
What's up, Supreme Leader?
Football being back, so freaking excited. 2020 has really been one shitty roller coaster, and I think we all need this. The world needs this. Basketball has been fun, and baseball, hockey, all that good stuff. But my heart was always with football, so happy that it's coming back next week. I'm about to jump out of my pants right now. I'm so happy. Anyway,
I just
I don't
did.
even
they have roller
so.
coasters. F.A. Obata, man. Oh, my dude.
Talk about our coaster.
Put them
We
on
have
the
to talk about
53s and they cut them, and then they're like, "Hey, no,
Just kidding.
Eli Apple ain't working out. He's going on injury reserve. Let's bring you back." Oh man, I hate that for my dude, man. He'll really bring some quality depth to what I think is our strongest unit on D. So I'm glad to have him back. That's our it's going to be one of our high points this year. I'll be tuning in with my thumbs up this week. Can't wait to listen. I'll leave y'all with this question. Who was your favorite player, NFL player, growing up?
Easy.
Age is definitely going to show here, boys. I turned 35 years young this November, so...
Oh,
right there with you, brother. 36 is November,
mine
right?
was Jerry Rice.
Wow, you're an old soul, obviously.
I was a big Niners fan, I ain't going to lie, back in the day, just because of Jerry Rice. And he had a very long and, of course, great career. So tell me who each and every one of y'all's favorite player is.
This
Keep counting,
call,
boys.
this
Pay the price
call,
before I die.
so exceptional. What a great call. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, look, my man, Supreme Leader. Thank you for being part of the show.
He's a Star Wars fan, obviously. Supreme Leader. Just saying.
Yeah, is that it? I don't know enough about it. I did just read that Mandalorian 2 is coming.
Awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I just finished it. I thought it was too short. I thought it was very good. Wanted like a bazillion more episodes.
You're gonna get them.
All right. So
Can I
was
give
gonna
you
say
my weird answer first, just because it's going to be like, that's out of left field. I remember being a young
Bird?
kid. Not Demir Bird.
That's my favorite. Cameron Artis.
No, just stop.
Why?
You're embarrassing yourself. Stop. No, you know what, dude? I remember watching Brett Favre when I was a kid. And, dude, the ball he threw was just different, dude. Like, dude, he was just had this bravado, this energy. He was throwing it all over the field. I'm like, damn, that dude is a baller. Like, that was I remember I went to a book fair when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and they had a sports book. And I remember flipping through it. They had a big profile on Brett Favre, and he looked so badass in the photo. I was like, man, that dude. Like, that's the earliest memory I have thinking of a football player being like, dude, that guy's a fucking hero, man. So, yeah, I'll say Brett Favre. Weird answer for my ass, probably, but. Yeah, man.
I'll go real quick. Growing up, I loved the old Denver Broncos before Carolina came out. I loved Terrell Davis and Shannon Sharp. And just like that team, I always play with them on Madden. That's one of my favorite teams to ever play with, and I love those two guys. But my all-time favorite player, I think I have to say in the NFL, it's got to be Julius Peppers. I watched this guy in college.
That mug made me
played
like football.
Yeah, he played. Dude, imagine this guy's life on college campus. Okay, you're going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL, or number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Okay, you're one of the best players in the NFL in college football. Not to mention the fact that you're on the basketball team. You're playing with Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter, Ed Cota, like all these guys who were
not just being a bum. He was not a bum. He was not a bum in basketball. My man was good.
I agree. Yep, they should have won a title that year. But Julius Peppers is probably my all-time favorite player ever of any sport. Period. Like I love that guy.
To that.
Number 90. Yep.
CK, who was your favorite player growing up?
I was gonna say Terrell Davis personally.
Yeah, he was amazing growing up. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's at that age. I mean, I was still being raised as a Panthers fan at some point, But like I just remember my childhood, and Terrell Davis was just like bigger than life in my mind. So yeah, no, Terrell Davis for sure.
I guess that leaves me.
Jason, who you pick?
Smitty.
Yeah, man.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I wanted to say Smitty, but I like when I think about my childhood growing up, like Smitty was, I think about all the way up until I'm 10 years old and I'm 30 now. And so the 90s, and Terrell Davis was the only person that I can think back to at that point in time and think I knew him when I was, not quite 10 years old yet. I knew his name, I
got you. Yeah, I'm 22, so I'm still a youngin.
Yeah.
I grew up on all that.
You're 22?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
Goodness.
I envy you. 22. All right, so here, this is what I would say. So when it comes to like sport, kind of football, sports, Panthers, it kind of teases the teams we like, right? It does.
It does.
Like, I mean, it's like I don't want to love a player that played for the Saints or something. So number one player for me all time is Julius Peppers.
Yep.
Right. He grew up in he played in Bailey. It's like an hour down the road from where I lived at. Because of that, then he was at Chapel Hill. I was kind of cheering for him. I didn't know a lot about sports. I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? I was like 17, 18. I didn't know enough about that. But those small connections made me like him a lot. And so I said, wherever Julius Peppers is going, homie, that's where I'm going. And then he went to the Panthers. It was like a match made in heaven, right? Because, what was that, 2001? 2000,
yeah.
right around 2001.
He left in
And so,
2001.
I was 19 years old then. And I wasn't a football fan. Like, I mean, look, I come from a family where we didn't have everybody together all the time, and not a lot of sports people. Like, my sports love came on my own. Fantasy football was important to it and this and that, but Julius Peppers, the man, like, he's my number one dude. He's like my number one player, period. My personal favorite second is Cam Newton. And he's kind of like, he's like my second favorite all time. I
Can
would
I put
almost
you back on track here, though? The question was, what's your favorite one growing up?
I got you. I'm coming back.
All right. Gotta rein you in.
So, like, these are my guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's they're non-Panther players. Basically, this question to me is, who are your player of that's not, like, Smitty, of course, like, he's bomb ass.
Okay.
But for me, it is all Randy Moss.
Okay.
And Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
I can take that.
I thought you were going to
These
I
two
remember
cats,
Marshall Faulk was
Randy
big
Moss
back then.
and Marshall Faulk, are the best football players in the world to me.
Tony, I thought, I swore up and down I was going to hear you say a certain name that you didn't say.
Who's
What's that?
Cameron
I
Artis
thought
Payne?
No. Lawrence Taylor, man.
Oh my God!
Oh,
You're
wow,
actually
way
went under.
back. Yeah.
Dude.
And you know what is that was almost like a legend passed down by people. Like, I didn't get to see it. Like, I wanted to see it.
You didn't see him?
Real quick, are we sticking only to football? Like, is it any athlete, period, or is it only football? Because I stuck with football.
No, it's only football.
Because, dude, Tony didn't
Lawrence
remember.
Taylor. Yeah, he's
Tony-
my
Tony didn't-
yeah. He's
Tony didn't
badass.
believe me when I said this, but I remember. I'm just old enough to, like, vaguely remember Michael Jordan playing a little basketball.
Right.
I was not old.
That wasn't basketball with the Wizards. So just so you know,
No,
that wasn't Michael Jordan playing basketball.
I remember him being with the Bulls. I might have been like 6 years old.
Okay.
But I do remember, like, seeing him play on TV with my dad.
He almost put up the numbers LeBron James does. You're right. That's crazy.
Shut up.
It's
Oh
crazy.
my
how good he
God.
was. Crazy how good he was.
No,
Yeah.
we're moving on. We're not doing this. No, this is even a thing on Greg's podcast. We're not doing this. No, moving on.
You know what? My favorite football player now, Greg, because you brought that up, is O.J. Simpson.
yeah, of course.
I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. All right, next call.
What's up? What's up, C3 Nation? It's your boy Run DMC Lovato. I just wanted to. I'm getting pretty hyped for the season. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't felt any excitement until probably today, to be honest.
Until your show came up.
I don't know why.
Motherfuckers.
I just wanted to give y'all my final prediction for the season. My final prediction. I think we're gonna go 4-12 in week 1 against the Raiders.
I like that. That's a good prediction.
I think we're gonna get a dub.
Carry it.
And you're saying unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, because it's time to tank for Trevor. But I've kind of conceded that Trevor's going to be a Jaguar. So
yes,
100%. I'm fine with Trey Lance or Justin Fields. But anyway,
we don't know that.
I think the Packers actually going to win this game. I'm going to say he's going to have about 200 all-purpose yards. Probably 130 on the ground, 70 in the air. Especially against the Raiders' run defense. I don't think they have a good run defense, but I think we're going to get the dub here. I think it's going to be pretty close. My prediction for the score is going to be 24-20. So, yeah, that's it from here. From me, Run DMC Lovato out.
I'm assuming he meant Panthers. He said 24.
I'm hoping he did, yeah. I'm hoping he did.
No, but no, we already started on it, so we got to go with it. Listen, did the Miami Dolphins not do the same thing last year? And everyone was convinced they were going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. They started trading off players. They started getting rid of anyone and everyone on their roster.
They end up with, Cody?
But they managed the number 5 pick. It was dumb luck. It was dumb luck.
The best quarterback in the draft.
His leg.
The best quarterback in the draft.
The second quarterback in the draft.
No, Joe Burrow had one good.
It doesn't
year.
matter. No, he was still the second drafted. It doesn't matter.
We saw what happened though.
Yeah, in 1 year. Look at his 2 prior years.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You just need that one developmental year.
Cam Newton had an amazing year in 2015. Has he done that since then?
Cam Newton only had one incredible year of college
Exactly. Football. That's my point. That's my point.
But this is what I'm saying. The Miami Dolphins did everything to have the number 1 pick, and they failed to do so.
And they almost missed it.
Right. So listen, right now it's easy to say the Jaguars are going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. But, dude, I'm telling you, man, give it a little while. They're going to figure out how to dumb luck their way into some W's.
Cody, I'll bet you $5 Jaguars have the
all right, I'll bet you 10. I'll bet you 10. I will bet you $10.
$10, okay.
The Jaguars do not have the first pick.
Now, and that can't include a trade. If the Jaguars officially get the first pick and trade away,
they have to earn it.
Well, they would not trade that away. Not with the quarterbacks.
They might for a king's ransom.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Poor Greg. Greg's got a damn Keno board of bets over there.
I'm interested to see how much money I win versus.
I feel like Greg's gonna be like, you owe me $78 tomorrow. I'm like, whoa.
This is gonna be like a credit card. Like you use it a little at a time, and then Greg comes with this balance sheet of yep, we're up to $2,500. So.
Right.
25% interest.
You're going to have to call CK.
It's going to be a while, guys.
You're going to call CK and get some debt collected.
You're going to have to call me to debt collect for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Can we go to the next call?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's Run DMC Lovato once again. I got one more thing I want to say and question for you guys. So I want each and every one of you to have a bold prediction for this game. So my bold prediction is that Chris Manhurst is going to get a touchdown.
Oh my gosh!
In the red zone in this Raiders game.
Thank God it would be in the red zone.
What bold prediction would each of you say this game? It could be anything.
I actually thought
I think
earlier.
Chris Manhurst is going to get at least a touchdown in the red zone. That's going to be my bold prediction, just because Ian Thomas is hurt, and I think they're going to the Raiders are not going to expect him to catch the ball or be
Well,
used
they've got
that
him
much.
listed as
Because I
number
think
one
the
anyway.
Joe Brady offense isn't going to use him that much during the game. It's going to be mostly 3 wide receiver sets, probably. But I think in the red zone, they're gonna bring Manhurts out and surprise the Raiders defense, and he's gonna get a touchdown. So, what's y'all's bold predictions for this game? That's all I gotta ask, bro. All right, I'm out.
Very strong.
Do we want this to be positive, or do we want this to be like a?
It can be anything. Just a bold prediction.
Whatever you want. I made mine earlier. I think it's not really bold, but I just think all of our touchdowns are going to come by way of Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
So I think Christian McCaffrey will have 2 touchdowns, and those will be our only touchdowns. Yeah. That's my bold prediction.
I think there will be 6 turnovers in this game collectively, and Carolina will be the better half of those 6 turnovers, meaning they will get at least 4 of the 6.
Oh, okay. CK, what say you?
You know, I have a lot of thoughts running through my mind right now. One of which is that, you know, I'm not going to go with this one, but I think our coaching staff has a hard time figuring out how to use Christian McCaffrey. Even though he's
what?
Yeah,
Really?
staff, right?
What's that?
It's a new coaching staff, though, right? So how do we know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think we're going to come away. My bold prediction is this. It's not going to be anything specific to that. I think we come away with more questions than answers after this first game.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
And I think you're probably right.
But okay, I gotta push back a little though. That's not really like a prediction. Like I feel that's inevitable.
I think we don't know anything more.
That's so funny, Cody. He said, "I feel like that's inevitable, motherfucker."
So I think that Teddy Bridgewater doesn't show us that he's the quarterback of the future. I think our defensive line, granted, may not look horrible. I think they're going to come away with having still not maybe provided the exact run stopping that we hoped that they would. And I think our secondary gets eaten alive, and our wide receiver core, Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel, both show struggles and don't know who's going to be the actual number 2 for the longevity of the career.
I think everything you're saying is subjective, though. Like, I need some tangible item that I can say yes or no. This happened. I feel.
Nobody's exceptional.
Well, let me in there.
Okay.
Y'all ready for me?
Do it.
I think my bold prediction is that we're going to find out that we are far more uncertain in the kicking game, punting game, and the special teams game than we want to be. I've watched this Panthers team try to piecemeal special teams together in the past. Typically, it's in kick returners and punt returners, but now we're even opening it up. I'm excited about Pharaoh Cooper. I'm ready for the let's get
special teams.
Because he's gonna run it back.
He's garbage otherwise. So,
that's a little harsh.
Well, has he ever been?
Whoa. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's gonna be Julio Jones, bro. I'm just saying this.
I don't think he's gonna be.
I like him on that punt return game better than Brent Burson. How about that?
I'll give you that.
Second,
I'll agree with you on that. Yes.
Second, my number 2 thing is ultimately the punter, Mike Pilardi, was the most significantly stable part of this team through all of this transition, and now this motherfucker is gone. Why is he gone? What happened to his leg? How did he lose it in a firefight? I don't know. But seriously, how does a punter all of a sudden be like, I got a leg injury? Yeah, I feel like we lost him and we left this man behind in Warzone, bro. Like, that's what I feel like. We could not fix him. We could, exactly. It was something like that. Exactly. So Mike Pilardi, who was the most wonderful part of this team prior to this year, is now gone. So for me, the bold prediction is that we can't punt or kick. Punting game sucks. That's it. That's my bold prediction.
Jason, what's your bold prediction, man?
All right. I'm thinking a lot of thoughts have been running through my head as well. This is a little bit more on the negative side. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I think Derek Carr passes for over 200 yards. Josh Jacobs rushes for over 100 yards.
See, I believe that, man. That doesn't seem far-fetched to me.
That's average. Yeah. That's very average, though.
Okay. Let's take it one step further.
All right,
I'm looking at this offensive line. Brian Burns is gonna struggle, man. I think.
No, that's a real goal.
Based on what will Brian Burns struggle? Because Brian Burns, when he's been in the game, has absolutely dominated when he's been in the game. We just don't play him enough. So what? I'm not saying you're wrong, because I'm definitely not a smart guy, and you probably know way more than I do. Yeah, definitely. But what about what you've seen from Brian Burns before? I didn't say
is
smart. Like, what makes you think that, though? Just out of curiosity, because I'm like genuinely interested in what you have to say about this, because I feel like Brian Burns could be a defensive player of the year if he's played properly. So
I got you. I'm looking say I'm the Raiders offensive coordinator, right?
Okay.
I'm pounding that rock for like most of the game. And honestly, Brian Burns is not known to be a run stopper.
Yeah.
Straight up. And so like I think a lot of times what could potentially happen is like they run this package or wherever where they try to set him up as a pass rusher. He runs upfield. Offensive lineman goes, oh, okay, you upfield, big hole. Josh Jacobs runs for a 20-yard gain, boom. And then once that big run happens, he's going to start being really hesitant because, oh, man, I'm not going to get into it. So basically, like, what happens, man, it's all a mind game in the trenches,
right?
And you got Colton Miller, who I like Colton Miller personally. I think he's a really, really decent player. And Trent Brown on the other side. Those are two pretty solid tackles. And you also, like, while I like to think is opening stuff up along with K'Von Short, Rich Hill and Ronnie Hudson, them two are some pretty legitimate linemen.
It sounds to me like you're saying it's less of Brian Burns not being good, and it's more of they just might decide, hey, wherever Brian Burns is, we're gonna put Trent Brown on him, all 6'8", 300 pounds of him, and just bully him around. You know, it seems like more of a Raiders offensive line thing, and I get that. It makes sense to me. Yeah.
And the fact that you played in the trenches puts a little more validity to that statement. Like I've never played. I'm 5'7". I've never played on the defensive line, so you know more about that than I do. So hearing you say that definitely has some validity to it. So I'm interested to see what happens in the future with that, because that's why I honestly wanted to hear your opinion, because I feel like personally Brian Burns is great, but
I think so
you
too.
have more knowledge to point out the weaknesses and how you can beat that greatness.
Yeah, that you think they can game plan around him. Yeah.
How about it's less about what we think Brian Burns is,
and more about what their offensive line is.
Yeah, and how about this? Is that we just need this motherfucker to be.
Yeah.
We need him to be that dude. Like, I don't know if he is or isn't. We've watched, like, basically the bad model is Vic Beasley. Right? That's the bad model. Like, we look at this long, lean motherfucker that's had a lot of success early on. That was Vic Beasley, right? I mean, they picked him. He got 16 sacks and they're like beating ass, just speed rushing. I don't think Brian Burns looks as one note as Beasley did. I don't think that. But at the same time, we just need him to be. That's it. I'm ready. I am excited about the BB experiment, like the BB days. Like I want him to be
Experience.
Von Miller.
Mhm.
That's what he needs to be. It's like, are you Von Miller or are you Vic Beasley? Right? And I know there's a gradient between the two. But ultimately, we really need Brian Burns to hit right now. Or else this team is continuing to be where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like we need a...
You do sound like a spurt girlfriend that's been like disappointed by so many past relationships that just didn't. That just
right,
didn't
you want me to
work
name?
out,
You want me to name those bitches?
No, because I know all the names. Tony
You want me to name them?
They've disappointed me too. I feel you
Oh,
on
you
that.
want to cry
That's why
about F.A. Obata right now? Fuck that.
Well,
We're
but hey, that's something that we haven't even brought up yet. The fact.
What was
this,
my man that I liked a lot that went to the Jets? He almost won the damn Super Bowl MVP.
Coney Ely.
Coney Ely. Oh my God! Thank you. All right,
but just keep in mind he lost. He did not do well anywhere else, and we decided to get rid of him as well. So there's a reason. There's a reason.
All right, let's check another call out.
Panther Nation, y'all know who it is. It's been a hot minute. It's been more
Josh
than
from
a hot
Matt.
minute. It's been a couple months. It's your
You'd
boy.
be lucky if I mail you that beer, homie.
Josh from Matt.
I got it sitting on my counter
Josh,
right now,
man,
ready to be mailed.
Now that we're
I'm determined about this
how
call.
you count it 4 or 5 days away. And it's just really setting in that shit. I'm just gonna say it's really setting in that Cam ain't a Panther no more.
Oh,
I know everybody's tired of hearing about it. We're tired of hearing us complain about it. They're tired
Let
of
it
hearing
go,
us bitch about it.
man.
But dude, like,
Think about how bad it is for him, though. He lives up in Mass, dude.
the thing that made our team special, the thing that made our team unique, the thing that made our team what it was for the
I will
last
always talk about Cam.
almost decade is gone. And that hurts. For a lot of us, that goddamn
I've
hurts.
been mourning, homie.
And not just to have him gone, like, you know, he ain't retired. No, he's part of the goddamn evil empire up here, you know, no more than an hour away from me in Foxborough. Of all teams, he's a patriot. This shit kills me.
I'm happy for him.
Kills me.
I'm very happy for him.
Absolutely kills me.
It doubles for
Man.
Josh. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
But
to
listen,
say.
man. Like, yeah.
Well.
All right, let's pause right there. We're pausing the call.
That's what
All
I
right, so we're sad that Cam's gone, bro. We're sad that Cam's gone. We are disheartened that he has joined the evil empire. Actually, I'm not even. I did not. All I disliked the fucking Patriots was because of that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's the reason I hated them.
Yeah.
I came
That was
back
the
to
reason.
the Patriots not being the worst team in the world when they beat the Falcons the way they did. At that point in time, I was like, all right,
I
the
know.
Patriots, all right. They're all right.
I got something for y'all. Check this out.
But Jason, you were going to say
farting,
something, man. What was
Yeah, Jason, go ahead, man.
So, like, my thing is, like, I grew up in Atlanta, right? And so I've known about Cam since I was, like, a kid, like, when I was in, like, middle school. And he's at freaking, dang, I forgot the name of high school. It's going to come back to me. Westlake. That's cold. That's a cold poster. So, like, just seeing him grow and everything, take his JUCO route and be after his whole situation at Florida and going to Auburn and having the season that he had. And, you know, my favorite team drafts him. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful time. But the injuries, man, at some point, like, you have to look at it like a business. And it sucks. As a fan, it sucks. But it's like what I said in the article, like all Tepper has seen is an injured Cam Newton. And after a while, that gets really tiring, especially when the injuries have honestly derailed seasons. not just I'm not putting it necessarily all on Cam because he played behind an awful old line. But at the same time, like at some point you got to make some type of transition.
I do think that I want to touch base on that because I think right now what is starting to realize in my head is I think our anger right now, our frustration with Cam not being here has to be pointed at somebody, right? And we want to look at the logic of what Matt Rhule, what Tepper and all them, but the reality is it's because we can't just look at Ron Rivera and we can't just look at David Gettleman. We can't just look at these guys and blame them because they're not on the Panthers anymore. We have nobody else to point fingers to except for the current. So who do we really blame? Do we blame the guy, like he says, Tepper, who's seen an injured Cam Newton every year he's been an owner? He has not seen Cam Newton at his best outside of 6-7 games. And even with those games, Cam Newton wasn't the same Cam Newton.
With those games, he was an MVP candidate.
He was.
He got injured.
Can I add one layer
with the running and everything like that, and the deep ball? Even those years, he was not throwing the deep ball. Those 6 games we're talking about, he was not throwing the deep ball. He was not. Go back and look at it.
5-1 or 4-2, and one of the best teams in the NFL. He was. Yeah. My thing with Cam Newton is, you had 1 year left on his contract. Okay. You get rid of him and sign a guy to almost the identical contract. Why not play that 1 year out with Cam Newton? What's the worst that can happen? You have 1 year left, play it out with Cam Newton, see if it works, then go forward. That's just my opinion. So, I mean, but
it's the best. It's the question we have been asking on this podcast for the last 5 months. Right? It's really not changed. The same question has existed, and that ultimately is, why did you feel that Teddy Bridgewater was better than Cam in that short term?
It's the deep picture, right?
Right. And so here's the thing, as we tried to make up all this shit, we tried to make up all these different reasons. We tried to, actually, none of us did. We didn't try to make up any shit. We tried to interpret what these assholes were saying to us the whole time. And then, no. Look, Rhule comes in. And we're like, oh, yeah, this mug, he speaks like a preacher. We're all excited about my man. I'm ready to go get baptized by this.
There was one person here who was not.
Like, that's right. But we're all in. We're all in. Like, all of a sudden, we're like all excited about this shit, about Cam, about everything, about Carolina. And guess what? It settles down for a second, and then they say they're cutting Cam, and we're having all this speculation. We're saying this. Oh, was it his health? Was it this? Was it the system? Was it the coaches? Was it the owner? Was it the GM? Like, we're asking all these questions for months and months and months, and then we get this stupid fucking press conference from Tepper where he's like, well, we couldn't get in touch with these guys because of COVID. And we didn't know about their health, so we decided to go another way.
Lies.
That is a crazy... To me, we're sitting here. I felt like this. I stress more over the decision about Cam and the Panthers than the owner and the GM and the Panthers did about that shit. Like, how am I losing sleep about this shit? And they're like...
Well, you're not, and that's why Jason's article was so great, and he hit the nail on the head, and I believed it forever, too. I mean, if y'all want to be Matt Rhule for that, then fine. Go ahead.
This is Tepper, bro. I think this is Tepper.
Also, let me prove even more how it's David Tepper. I said in the last draft, when the Carolina Panthers drafted Will Grier, who, by the way, is going to be another draft bust by Marty Herney, when the Panthers drafted Will Grier, I said, you saw it right there. That was a David Tepper draft pick. That was an insurance policy. Should Cam Newton get hurt, and they need another reliable option. That's why they drafted Will Grier. And then they didn't even put him in until the end of the season. And couldn't
In
beat
the
out
worst
Kyle
possible
Allen.
scenario. In the
Yeah,
worst possible.
so
When you have a losing record and a terrible team, of course he's going to do bad. I'm not defending Will Greer, saying he's a great player. He had a great college career, and there's no reason to believe he can't have a great pro career. But you put him into a season where we're already, 2-6
against 2, by the way.
Time. Yeah, against a great.
It was the end of the season. We were already done. Like it was
exactly.
Like
so I mean, what do you expect from that guy? Seriously, like
more than what it showed, dude, he was abysmal. I mean, he was bad.
We went through 3 quarterbacks the year before in 4 games.
I'm not saying that
we're not trying to attack. We're not trying to defend him here. We're not trying to attack him. We said that it was a bad draft pick. Period.
Yeah, but not whenever we made it. We made it. We thought it was a great draft pick.
No, I did not.
We were all talking about how great that was. Great college player, you know.
Draft pick.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and look at the tape.
Yeah, I will tell you this: is we all came on his face,
neck, and chest, right? Face, neck, and chest.
I remember I wanted the guy that New Orleans drafted, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then he went a few picks later to the Saints.
Why are we going to want to back up to a backup? All right. Let's keep going.
He's been good for the Saints.
Hold on. No. We're good. It's getting late. Let's keep playing these damn calls.
I hope we do awful.
These damn calls. I love you. Keep calling 252-228-5900.
No, I'm not even sorry. I hope we do terrible. Because I have no faith in Teddy.
See, you're with us.
None whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, the man's going to do everything in his power, but it isn't going to be enough and it ain't going to matter. And that's why he's here. Because they know it ain't going to be enough and it ain't going to matter. The fact that his cap hit is what Cam's is the slap in the face.
It is. All right, Josh. All right.
Yes,
so ultimately, is that none of this has to do with Teddy. None of it has to do with Teddy. It all has to do with Cam. If Cam goes out there and slangs the big Teddy D this weekend and Teddy shrivels,
Cam goes out there and gets hurt, what do you think?
Yeah. Then you're going to be like this. It's the best move ever.
Yeah, I'll eat crow. If Cam goes out there and gets hurt in the first 3 games, I will eat a full damn plate of crow.
How are you eating crow? I feel like I cannot be upset if Cam succeeds. Everybody else should eat crow. I'm going to be like jerking off on this podcast.
My Panther fandom is not dependent upon what other Panther fans think about me. If I tell you that I want the Cam Newton to win a Super Bowl this year and the Panthers
over Tom Brady
to get the #1 pick in the draft, dude, you're not questioning my.
Is that not the best season ever?
I'm gonna be a fan of this team forever. I'm just saying, if we have a shit year this year, like whatever, this is the best year to have a bad year. And
is it wrong?
So
is it wrong to cheer for Cam Newton?
We have a bad year next year, Cody. I am going to bring that up because I'll be here next year. I'm going to bring it up. The one thing I want to know, like I said, this is my biggest thing this year.
Yeah,
is I do not want to hear anybody on this podcast talk about, well, we were missing tackles. If we're missing tackles, that is Matt's fault. Because for the last 5-6 years, missed tackles on Ron Rivera.
That's all we talk about.
Missed tackles are not Ron Rivera's fault. I'm sorry, it's not. He cannot physically go out and make tackles. So
how do we get back to this?
What happens if we miss tackles this year?
Fighting back.
If he miss tackles, I'm going to blame.
He lost $5 2 years ago, and now he's fighting back.
Hey man, it'll be on both of them. It'll be on both. I think it'll be.
You can't say it's on both of them now because you totally blame Ron Rivera. You totally blame Ron Rivera.
This how Greg believes that with the new coaching staff, there will be no missed tackles.
But hold on.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Cody says missed tackles are a head coach's fault.
Listen.
Cody said.
It's an entirely different context. And I never said that word for
Greg.
word.
Now I'm on Greg's side.
No, that is not what I said word for word. And number 2, Ron Rivera also didn't have this roster this year of young players.
Flip-flopping it. Now you're flip-flopping it.
Let's calm down.
The way to tackle the right way, like you said, they should not tackle.
He got you.
How many catcalls we got left?
First-year head coach.
How many catcalls do we have left?
3.
Who cares? He's coaching, right?
You can go, bro.
No. I'm worried about Jason. I'm sure he's got some work he's got to do tomorrow. I don't want to keep him on.
Dylan, let's go.
All right, cool.
Look, all we do
bro.
is stay up all night and talk about it.
Yes, I like Jason.
All right, Jason's the man. All right, let's get another call.
Appreciate it.
Come on, call it. Oh,
what?
this dude's quiet as a mug.
Who? No, he's here.
That call.
He's talking.
I've been playing the call for
Hey, everybody out there.
Oh.
Happy football season.
Hey, what's up,
I
man?
want to talk about a couple items here. Chris Manhertz, number 1. I see that he's listed as the number 1 tight end.
Yeah.
And I really...
He's way better than
you guys remember
Kittle.
the stories from earlier in camp about Teddy hanging out with him, trying to work on some routes. I think that's probably where that's going there. And then we got...
Oh, maybe he's next. Call. Hold on. We'll play the next one.
What's going on, C3 fam?
Nope.
I've called in a while. Chef Jeff here.
Well, that's Chef Jeff.
Chef
All
Jeff.
right, so let's talk about this. Actually, it's a very important conversation to be had.
Yeah.
Is that the Carolina Panthers only have 2 tight ends on the roster, and the ladies are upset. They're used to 3. That's it. That's all. That was my joke.
Yeah.
Tony needs to get some rest.
No, look, that made y'all mad.
Sarah Taylor is a host of
That
my
made
show.
y'all
Yeah.
so. Look, everybody got in on that. All right. So what else? We got 2 tight ends and one's hurt. Oh, you want to make that joke?
2 tight ends.
And one's hurt. And one's hurt.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god!
And how are you going to go into a season with 2 tight ends? One doesn't work because he's hurt.
But why doesn't one work? Well, because he's hurt.
He's got a toe injury.
Can he play?
He's got a toe injury. But my point is this: is you ever seen a roster that only had 2 tight ends? No.
I don't know. Actually,
A little odd.
Yeah, I don't know.
For this offense, I was expecting there to be more for sure.
Like, can we run a 2 tight end set?
I think they're going to
if he's set. What if he's hurt? What if his toe hurts? How can you even run a 2 tight? You can't. It's impossible. You don't even have them.
I have a feeling that whatever tight ends we're going to have on our roster are almost exclusively going to be put there for blocking. Until I see something that gives me faith in this offensive line.
Well, what about what do they do at LSU, homie?
Yeah, but again, this is not LSU, man. This is
But that's what he said. He's like, I can't.
I'm so glad you said that. So don't ever talk to me about Joe Brady being.
Oh
being
my
a
God!
guru.
Hey, man, I'm with Greg on this. I'm with
You're
Greg.
insufferable.
Joe, I'm with Greg on
Just
this.
said it
Man.
right there. This is not
100.
LSU. This
Dude,
is
it takes time. That Rome wasn't built in a day, bro.
I'm
Like,
100 with Greg on
right.
this.
But if we end up being the exact same so if we end up going 7-9 for the next 3 years, are you going to call that a success?
No.
Joe Brady is a fucking savant. He threw 79,000 passes when he was.
How about this? I would say for Matt Rhule in his first year, 7-9 is a damn good number considering how young our roster is.
But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Well, hold on. Let me, Jason, would you not agree with that statement? If the Panthers, if Matt Rhule in his first year wins 7 or 8, is that not considered a success for a first-year head coach going to a team with this much turnaround?
It's not gonna happen, but yeah, it'd be a success.
So,
yeah, right.
hold
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
Real quick, what you're saying is that 7-9 this year is better than 6-10 last year with Cam Newton and the players we had,
Yes,
and the coach we had. At 7-9, that one win is that much better and worth all the turmoil we've gone through.
Without Cam Newton, without Luke Kuechly, without Greg Olsen, yeah, I do think that is more impressive. And his first year as a head coach, yeah, I'm 100% that 7-9. That's not the record that I want this year. I want either the Super Bowl or the first pick in the draft. But if that doesn't happen,
let's use our opponents. Use our opponents. Oakland. When it was Oakland, Jay Gruden came in with an experienced head coach, and they went 4 wins for 12.
Yeah, so this team is getting the number one. Like we are in tank.
What I mean by that is that 7-9 is a success in that regard.
Yes, it's like a giant success. It would be like if you bagged the hottest chick you ever bagged.
Yeah, you get rid of all the players we got rid of, and 7 and one more win is a success.
Nah, man, they ain't even sniffing close. How about this?
Right.
Well, it would be dirty, but like at the end of the day, if the Panthers win over 5, then you got a big giant Teddy BD.
The Panthers win over 5, you owe me $10. But just saying.
That's right. You're gonna owe me money, homie. I told you they're not gonna win that.
Bet. You're probably right.
I'm actually the thing I'm most concerned about when the Panther. Oh, did I make my bold prediction already? Can I make another one?
Yeah, you said the punch.
You can make another one if you want to. It's your show.
I did. It's not my show. It's our show.
Yeah.
The thing that I was trying to, the one thing that worries me about Matt Rhule, and it's not about him specifically, is that like you see him, he's got the eye cornea issue. He's got to wear these sunglasses while he talks. He looks exhausted. I'm a little concerned that, and it's not week 1, it might be year 1, that there's some growing pains with this staff. Like they are smart, they are talented, they are the people you hire for the job, right? Like if I interviewed someone and they got all this, but they haven't done it before. And at the end of the year, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. They're exhausted. He looks tired to me. I just hope that
we haven't even started the season. He looks tired.
Right. And that's when I'm a little concerned about there. Is the stage a little big at this moment for what's going on? And it's not just him.
This is not Baylor. This is not Temple. No matter how much you want to
I'm hoping for the best. Like, I just don't know, right? I'm not going to say he's the savant that changes football yet.
It'll be the other way around, though. And now everything that goes – now you're waiting at every moment to say, look at Matt Rhule fucking up, being a terrible head coach, not doing his job. You know, it's –
Which is also strange because he bet me – that they would win more than 6.
Right.
Not
so he doesn't like this squad, but he bets on.
I don't think a 6-10 team.
What kind of math is that?
6-10 team is what, 4th, 5th pick in the draft? I don't think 6-10 is successful.
No, you said these dudes are going to be terrible, and then you bet me $10 that they won.
All I'm saying. $10 is nothing to throw away at the same thing that we're not going to gain anything we had last year. We were 6-10 beforehand. Right. 6-10 is not a success. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn if you're a first-year head coach. You know, you've been a head coach in college, and you've been.
If he gets 6 wins tomorrow, we're gonna be mad happy.
Baylor and Temple. So, and now you've signed all these unsigned free agent players from Baylor and Temple to play in your team, which obviously is nepotism. It is not how they play.
It's a lot of nepotism.
Okay?
Your mom looks hot.
We know that you are putting all your chips in to what you feel is right. And you know what? Like I said, if I'm wrong, I will sit here the entire show, the entire season, and eat crow. And
you will actually give us all like $20.
I would rather Carolina be good than me be right. But based on what I've seen, this is not going to work.
I get you. Last call.
What's going on, C3 fam? I haven't called in a while. Chef Jeff here.
Chef Jeff, my
Just calling Tuesday night, 10:30. Listen to the podcast, loving it. Can't wait for Sunday. I mean, I'm like a heroin addict waiting for that dose, man. I need that football. I need to hear those pads hit. And I really don't have much to say. There isn't really anything that hasn't already been said, other than the fact that first chance I get, I'm going to wear a Cam Newton Patriot jersey in Bank of America Stadium. But other than that, I guess really all I want to talk about was how I think the COVID games are going to go. I think it's going to be awesome, really. I mean, just not having the crowd noise, being able to hear everything. They're obviously going to have a long delay because they're going to have to bleep stuff out and everything. But being able to hear all the hits, hear all the audibles on the field, I think that's going to be a part of the game that only people who sit on the lower level in the stands get to experience. I mean, it's gonna be awesome, I think, and I can't wait to see it. I'll be listening, guys, and as always, keep pounding.
I'd have thought about this earlier.
Keep pounding.
When we were talking about how the kid's going to benefit the offense, I was thinking about, I guess you can get low, but like I sit there and think, like, how easy is it going to be for defenses to hear play calls now?
Yeah,
so from what I heard,
not enough to where snap counts are efficient, right? Like,
I agree.
Being on defense, you can really. I remember going to one of my first professional games and not knowing what was going on and like just cheering the whole time, and this person censuring me for like, we're on offense. I mean, shut the fuck up. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I do need to shut the fuck up. Right. So like, that's a good question, is how will it affect the game? I do think that the defense is going to be a disadvantage.
Yeah,
for the defense.
From what I heard that the noise is loud, but it's not loud enough to affect the snap count.
It's regulated through every team the same, because there's no reason that a team like Dallas should have more of an advantage because they have actual fans in the stadium. It's a decimal level is what it is. Like, there's no reason that the Dallas Cowboys, who have an indoor stadium that can have 40,000 fans, should have an advantage of having fan crowd noise over any team that's an outside stadium like Carolina does, and not be able to play. Like, they have rated to a decimal level. So you can have sound to a certain decimal level, but you can't go past that point. Who was the consultant
on that?
Huh?
Who was the consulting? Do you know? Like, I feel like they hired.
Are you talking about pumping crowd noise? You mean?
Yeah, it was the Atlanta Falcons.
No, they're talking about pumping crowd noise in the stadium,
right? Because certain teams can't have, like, Carolina.
No, the Atlanta Falcons got in trouble for that like 10 years ago for pumping. That's what I'm saying. They're the consultant. Sorry, it was a bad joke.
But hey, fan bases are not created equal, though. Like you're right. If you go to a Kansas City Chiefs game, yeah, it's probably going to be louder than if you were to go to a Chargers game or a Jaguars game. So, like,
right.
I don't know.
It's something you can control. It's different. Whenever Dallas is allowed to have 40,000 fans, and Carolina can't have any fans in the stands. That's a difference. Like, period. I don't care what you say. It's a big difference.
I can't wait to see what I hope this coaching staff does not look disorganized. That's ultimately. I have a feeling that they're not going to look bad, but they're going to look new. And that's fine in so many ways, but that's my prediction.
Yeah.
Tony.
All right, we got to get out of here. It's too long. It's like 11:45. Can we go to bed?
We didn't even talk about Odell. If we didn't even talk about Odell.
Yeah, we've got ice up picks. We got this. All right.
Ice ups, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the number is 252-228-5098. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. This is what we do every Tuesday night. We chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions till all of y'all want to die and go to sleep. Because that's how I feel right now. But right now, I got to tell somebody to ice up. And they got to toughen up. They got to get it together. And obviously, Odell is off the table until... Cody, you go first.
Well, I mean, this wasn't my ice up pick, but if you want me to take it,
why not? Why wasn't?
No,
was it too steamy?
No, hey, don't try my game, bro. Don't try me. Listen, bro.
Was it your number 2 option?
Dude, listen. Yeah, it was my number 2 option. Dude, listen.
Don't be. It's not runny, is it?
Dude, I don't know if any of you have heard the news, but apparently Odell Beckham likes to get pooped on, bro. And I don't know what
allegedly.
And you know what? That's a good point because let me say this.
No, sue our podcast, bitch. Sue us.
Would you trust the words that come out of the mouth of a corporate lobbyist? Hell no. This woman is a lobbyist for dick, bro. That's what she does. That's all she's good for. Dude, she is a professional celebrity fucker. Why would I have any inclination to believe anything this dirty thought has to say, bro? She put
let me provide some context too.
I do agree with a lot of this. Did you see Odell get shit on? Is that your context?
No, no, man. So like, what happened? Like, Selena Powell or whatever. Like, she actually accused rapper Offset of having her baby apparently, and that turned into like a massive scandal a couple years ago. And everyone was on his head talking about, oh, why'd you get this girl pregnant? Blah blah blah. And it turned into a storm, kind of similar to how this Odell thing is going down. And so I just look at this. Check. It's my journalist brain or whatever. Check the source. That's how I look at it.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, dude.
It does look really, really bad. I'm not gonna lie. But
no, it just sounds bad. It just sounds bad. It doesn't look bad. It sounds bad, and I think that's what Cody is trying to say here, right?
Yeah, we don't believe
is that this? Yeah.
Should we have any reason in the world to drop Odell's name and say any number of random shit about this man? And because of the internet culture, everyone just jumps on it hook, line, and sinker, bro. I feel like there's a bro code somewhere. Bro, I'm on Odell's side, bro. I'm on Team Odell. I hope it doesn't even answer to this dirty thought, bro. Answer's ugly as fuck, bro. Come on. Have you seen her, dude? She is not a looker. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm on Team Odell.
All right.
Big on thought. So I up to her.
What was your real ice up, though, Cody?
That was oh god, that was your real ice up. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, my ice up is the couple in California who did a smoke bomb gender reveal that ended up lighting the forest on fire.
That happened so many times.
And had to evacuate over 200,000 people. Because of a fucking gender reveal. Because of a gender reveal, man. Come on, bro. Bro, y'all are doing too much. Ice up, son.
Ice up, man. All right. Who's next?
That was so good. How about this? Is you have a gender reveal joint. All right, like, I want to talk about the Odell, but I don't. Keep going. Y'all go. Y'all ain't shitting on that.
I've got mine ready. So, mine's simple, man. I'm icing up fucking Democrats and Republicans. Screw all of y'all, man. Seriously. Yeah. This shit is so stupid. Like, y'all are such... I'm sorry, I'm not going to say fuck. I'm not gonna say fucking. I'm not gonna say effing morons. Like y'all are so stupid. Like this whole thing is insane, man. I by no means am a Trump defender, but my goodness gracious, like I heard news today about Trump supporters talking about how they feel like the election is going to be rigged. You know what? Go suck a dick, seriously, because the first thing y'all did when Trump won the office was defend him not being in coherence with Russians. Okay, so and I'm not saying that's true. I have no idea, whatever. But y'all both do the exact same thing. Democrats and Republicans both do the exact same dirty ass things to each other to try to make the other one look bad. Screw that. Let's work on fixing our damn country rather than screwing the other party. Like they are more focused on screwing the other party than they are fixing our country. It's insane. My generation is coming into power. I promise you, by the time I'm 40, which is 4 years from now, there will be some more power come into play than fucking Democrats and Republicans.
We gotta get rid of the baby boomers. The baby boomers gotta go, bro.
There are more ideas out there than left or right. You can
get rid of the baby boomers, bro.
Yeah, it's insane, man, and I can't stand it. I can't stand hearing this crap because Republicans, Democrats did the exact same thing to you whenever Trump won, and now y'all are bitching about it. So there is no evidence to show there is a coalition with the election coming up. That there is malfeasance with the election coming up. So you're just making up all you can before the election comes up to make it sound like if you lose, something happened bad. But I promise you, if you win, if Trump wins, you won't say shit about it. So go suck a dick. I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that. Seriously. Like there are more parties than the Republican and the
I feel like the only thing more controversial that you could say is like, can we raise the stamp by a penny?
No, dude, we have grown up our entire life.
That's the most controversial.
We have grown up our entire lives thinking that Republican and Democrats.
Somebody laughs at it.
You have to think those two ways or you're wrong. Fuck that. There are more ways to think than just that. Okay? Yeah. Everybody is a person. Everybody deserves rights. Let's go with that and then move forward. Period. Point blank. Screw everything else, man. Like, so to Democrats and Republicans, ice up, man. Seriously. Y'all are idiots, man. Y'all are so wrapped up in money and everything else. Ice up. Like, I'm ready to see some actual change in culture, change in the future, rather than just talking about it.
I have been a firm believer for years.
Yeah.
Democrat and Republican are two sides of the same coin, man.
They are. Is it me? They are, but they're both wrong. You know? So
I won't say they're both wrong. They both have valid points, but I think they just go about it in a way that if you don't agree with this, I can't agree with something that makes sense on your side either.
I agree. Yeah. Okay.
You know?
But
nonetheless, it's extremist. It's not everybody. I think there are moderate Republicans and moderate, Democrats that I think are going to be forward-thinking human beings. It's just the problem is the people in power are not moderate either way. So
I just want people with new ideas and people that aren't afraid to try and do something new.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, I'm gonna ice up the I guess the give it to me now culture because that's how I am felt when the boys only dropped 3 episodes and I have to wait until the 11th.
Why are you gonna be upset with the best show ever?
I give you to come on my show every Friday.
I'm gonna be there, bro.
But no, yeah,
I watched that.
Just that. Netflix ruined me. I'm icing up Netflix for ruining people's expectations of what TV shows are supposed to be. And right now the Netflix created just really, really long movies. And now it's when they called it series. So now we think series are just
movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but ice up to the give it to me now culture.
So quick comments on those things. First of all, is I watched like the first 3/4 of the first episode of The Boys, and The Boys is my show. So yes, I will be there Friday. I'm ready. I will have all of it. I will have notes and all that. You saw me on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I ain't coming unprepared.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's wild is that my wife wanted to watch Umbrella Academy. And I was
Great show.
Are you sure? Like, I was like, I don't know if you're gonna like it. I was like, and so we started watching it. So she wanted to watch it. We're gonna watch it. All right.
You'll love
it. The Boys is awesome. So don't fuck with it. Like, don't talk shit.
Jason, you want to try and throw in the ice up?
Available, bro. Anything, man. Anybody.
I guess I'll hop in. So apparently EA Sports announced that they're adding Kaepernick to Madden this year. And it's crazy. It's crazy because, like, literally a couple years ago, I don't know if y'all remember, but rapper Big Sean had a song that referenced his name, and they literally censored his name out of the song. So now all of a sudden, like, they want to show all this love and be, oh, we support you. It's to the point now where, like, there's an emo after you score, and he does the Black Power fist. It's crazy how much they switch up just because it's the popular thing now. But that's how corporations are. At the end of the day, they're gonna follow the money.
Unbelievable.
I sub.
Can I even add a little bit on there? So in the game, Cam Newton is rated at 78, and how about Kaepernick is rated at 82?
81. Oh, he's the 82.
Yeah, 81 or 82. He's ranked as a better quarterback than Cam Newton. I am all for Kaepernick being in the NFL. I'm all for him being in Madden. But don't tell me that he's a better quarterback than Cam Newton, bro.
He wasn't better than him in his prime to me.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yep.
You're right.
Not even close. All right, my ice up pick, I might have already made one, making a second one then. If that's the case, is ultimately the idea that Cam Newton is done. Sorry, I'm icing you fools up. This mug is about to go be the comeback player of the year with New England, and you're gonna be like, oh, it's fucking the genius ass motherfucking Belichick and this and that, and it will be some of that, but the idea that Cam Newton didn't work his ass off, didn't play his ass off, and wasn't the best fucking thing that we had forever is ridiculous. And I'm icing up old Tepper. I don't like the news coming about how they made this decision. If that's how they made decisions, then I would never be married. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, well, this bitch was injured on Thursday night. I was injured on this as I'm going to the bar for somebody else. Fuck y'all. Cam Newton's the bitch ass motherfucker. I hope we win against the damn Raiders. And I hope Teddy's BD is as giant as it looks. Very simple. All right. I don't know what else to say. I want to go to bed. Can we go to bed, fellas?
We can go to bed.
Can we end this show? All right. All right. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. The number's 252-228-5098. Guys, guess what we're doing on Sunday?
Watching fucking football, bro.
Watching football.
Game show, man. I'm more excited about that than I am the game.
And what we're going to do afterwards, we're going to hang out.
We're going to be
talk
doing
shit.
We're going to be post-gaming it up.
All right. The number is 252-228-5098. Cody Lashney, Cripple Connection. How can they follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, man. Follow me on Twitter at CodyLac, CodyLac. There is a brand new mock draft on drafttech.com where I am the analyst for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have the number one pick in this most recent mock, so I got to do a little write-up about my man Trevor Lawrence. You can go ahead and check that out. You can also find on my YouTube channel, Cody Lashney, me and my friend Jeffrey Redmond every Saturday at 4 do the Cripple Connection podcast, where we talk about the video game industry from the perspective of two handicapped dudes, but it's everything going on in video games and the console war and everything going on in the video game industry right now. So that's it for me. Check us out.
Word up, we got Jason Hewitt still in the house. Jason, how can they follow you on social media? SI Rider, we're happy to have you. Thank you for giving us all your time tonight.
And
absolutely, I appreciate being on. Yeah, it was real fun, y'all. So you can follow me on Twitter at Jason Hewitt 50. That's at Jason Hewitt 50, and you can also follow the Sports Illustrated Panthers page, which is at SI_Panthers. Keep pounding, baby.
You know what they say? Perfect. All right, CK, my man, what's your tattoo gonna look? Is it gonna look like my face on your ass? Or on your chest? That sounded weird. That sounded terrible.
Whoa. No.
You should get me, Cody, and Tony all on his ass.
So Cody and Greg, you may not know, I hit the 1,000 mark this week.
Nice.
On Facebook. So that's good. I'm happy about that. So
now he's got to get a tattoo of my face on his face.
No. My community, I think, is all right with a tattooed wedding band. So might go that route.
Oh, that's so weak sauce. Oh my god, that's so weak sauce.
I haven't advertised that I will. Once I hit 1,000 followers, I'll get a tattoo. My first ever tattoo.
You're on YouTube, dude. Of course you've advertised.
Yes, you have. I haven't. Why do you think I have shared your shit?
I haven't advertised since I was at 250 followers.
I'm taking my shares back. Unsharing.
If all the followers that came from that just disappeared, I would be so mad.
Yeah. You're gonna get a quarter ring now.
But no, you can find me on Facebook. It's gonna be it's easier. If you have the app, you can go. There's a gaming app for Facebook now, but it's fb.gg/CodizzleAllen. So you can find me there. Or on Twitter, Twitter, Instagram, and I have a TikTok now. So.
Oh, you lame. Or TikTok. Oh my gosh, you child. All right. Greg, let me come on and talk about the boys this Friday. I'm ready to go. Like, I am in love with Starlight. I'm telling you. I want to.
This season is amazing. I love it.
Her thighs have gotten delicious.
But check it out. You can find me at the Bad Daddy 52 on Twitter, and then I run a show on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, just like this one. But we talk about all kinds of geek shit. And this weekend we're talking about the boys. Tony, you're going to be on. I've had CK on. I've had Cody on. Like, I love it. Jason, if you're a geek in any kind of way, man, you love it. I would love to have you on sometime. But I also run the DC Alliance podcast on Tuesdays. I run superhero discussions on Fridays. Fridays. Like, I do all kinds of stuff, and I have a bunch of shows that I go on. So, Jason, I'll definitely hit you up, man, because I want to have you on sometime and talk some geek stuff. But, check me out, man. Like, Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We do a live show. We post it on Sundays. It's all part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. And, I know, not to brag, but last week we had, we've had this network for 2.5 months now. And last week we just got over 20,000 downloads on our last show.
Yes.
So it's
my
really,
man. What do you mean you're not mean to brag?
I'm just saying, man. Last week I said 15 because it was 15 last week, but we got over 20,000. It's really taken off. 7 days a week, Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. We cover everything you need, and we're going to expand. Hopefully very
We're changing the name of this podcast to the C3 Panthers Geek Network.
There you go. Very soon, I hope to have
video game podcast
as part of what we're doing, because they're going to be our gaming show.
How are you more successful than us in 8 seconds?
Power and numbers. That's all it is. Power and numbers.
Love you guys.
He
does.
Everybody, thank you very much. Check me out, at the Bad Day 52. Jason, I'll definitely hit you up, man, because I want to play some Madden or talk to you about some geek stuff. Either one. So,
all right, we're gonna hit everybody up. Yeah, Tony.
Hey, listen. Tell them
we
where
go
you
to
can find
bed?
your OnlyFans.
Where I can find what?
OnlyFans.
Your OnlyFans, Tony.
I don't know what an OnlyFan is.
What's an OnlyFan? I don't
Come
know.
on now. You know.
You don't know what OnlyFans is?
It's like I feel like it's what those porn stars do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, like if you want to take a shit on Odell Beckham Jr., then look it up. But no, right now we're trying to raise money to get Steve Smith to say ice up to us. We're not trying to get no boob shots. We're not trying to get none of that.
How much money do we need for that? How much money do we need for that, by the way?
We're like we need like $120.
Look, I want to take a shit on Odell Beckham Jr., but not because
Me
of that.
too.
Just because I want to take a shit on him.
I have so many questions. I have so many questions. Is it more awkward to take a shit on someone or to get shit on? It's a giant. It's a big question.
That's like being pissed off.
And is like, what happens if you were expecting that and it was like soft serve ice cream? Is bad news. Don't get shit on, motherfuckers.
Money changes everything, bro. Money
Nah,
changes what you're gonna say yes.
I don't believe it. I'm kind of with you, Cody. I'm with you, Cody. Is that it's a little too quick. We're a little too quick to, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that we heard these rumors about all these other motherfuckers?
Yeah.
If he's that dumb, then fuck him. Then he should get shat on.
Do you remember the rumor? Do you remember the rumor way back in the day, like Richard Gere? Like,
yeah, the gerbil, all this shit. Yeah. And I was just watching a TV show where they said at some point they were referencing that gerbil thing, and they were saying at some point the rumor wins.
And that's the problem I think right now with Odell Beckham is like regardless of the validity, he is gonna get technically and figuratively and literally shit talked while he's on the field the entire time.
Oh, well done. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
I think we got to go to what Cody said. Is that I mean, I don't want to be like a stereotyper. No, a stereotyper, but that trick looked too skinny.
Yeah, bro. If you're,
you know what I'm saying? Like when I see her, she was like, "I'm trying to look sexy while I was taking a shit." I was like, "Well, that's what she kept saying." She was like, "I'm trying to look sexy while I'm taking shit." I was like, "Bitch, you need like 40 more pounds before you can look sexy trying to look sexy."
Odell, you can have the baddest.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
That girl seems.
Nope.
That girl seems sketch as fuck. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
She seems sketch. So you know what? I'm with
proof that she has.
How about Cody is the most insightful motherfucker we know? He said, "Let the judicial system do the judicial system."
What?
Judicial. I was trying to combine judicial.
How about
together.
Poo-jitsu?
Oh yeah, that's better. The poo.
Badass.
Fuck this. Can I go to bed, please?
You're the one dragging this on.
All right, fuck y'all. Keep pounding. I hope the Panthers win. 252-228-1598. See you next week.
Later, y'all.